What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of All Things Super. I am one of your hosts, Spider, and I am joined by the man. He has it on his shirt, but he is the one, the only, Mr. VIP, Frankie Washington. How you doing today, sir?
The shirt says it all. I am infinitely awesome, sir. Thank you for asking. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. It is a new year. We got ourselves a new episode. We got a new theme song. We're coming in guns blazing.
And new merch.
And new merch.
Like
new shirts. We killing it. We killing the game right now.
I don't know why y'all would watch anybody else besides us. What is going on, y'all?
Don't know.
We back like we left our keys there. Can't even go anywhere. We can walk around, but we can't.
Come right back.
Unless you call it Uber or Lyft. Taxi. But here we go.
Who uses taxis these days?
Happy New Year. People that drive them.
This is true. This is very true. Question asked, question answered.
How's your New Year going, Spider?
No, my New Year's great. My New Year's great. It's crazy that we're in 2025, and it's
You know what's really crazy? Somebody said something that hit 10 years. John Wick 1. I don't know how accurate that is. Did John Wick 1 hit 10 years?
Probably. 2015, really?
Time flies when you're having fun. Murdering people.
I mean, technically, it hit 10 years last year. It came out in 2014.
Wow. So that means the Matrix is how old?
The Matrix
of the Matrix
is what, almost 26? Because the Matrix came out in 99, right? Yeah, Matrix came out in 99.
Taking over. That's when Cash Money was taking
Cash Money in the Matrix.
Yeah, was taking over for the 99 and 2000.
But do they know Kung Fu like Neo does?
No, they know Shoot Fu. Ex Lil Wayne.
He
knows Shoot Fu.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, well, hey, you started. He said he don't start. At somebody telling you I don't start, that lets you know right there they're not a starter, they're a finisher.
Right.
They don't start, they finish. So if you started, they'll finish it for you.
Exactly. So just don't start.
So, hey, don't start. No, how it go? It's wise words being quoted. I'm unplugged now, so this who knows what's gonna happen now. Wise words being quoted by wise men who spoke it. Don't start no, won't be no.
Exactly.
Welcome to the show.
Also,
y'all.
another man said, if you want to be starting something, then you got to be starting something.
Yeah. And it's too high to get over.
And too low to get under. You're stuck in the middle.
Right there.
Pain is thunder.
Right there.
I don't know what the last line exactly means.
You got to say it like he said.
The pain. No, only he can say it the way he said it.
I don't know what he meant either, but I know
the pain is thunder.
Wesley Snipes on that Thriller video.
No, that was bad, wasn't it?
And they were battling with.
Yeah, that was bad.
You are absolutely right. Yeah. Why did I say pain? I was thinking about getting stabbed, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, it's painful if you get stabbed. Ask anybody who's been stabbed.
Yeah, it's very true. It's very true.
Nobody, they stabbed me. I didn't even feel it. You know, they stabbed me like 7 times. I was like, oh, you stabbed me for real. Okay,
I mean, Francis doesn't feel it. Deadpool stabbed him a bunch.
Yeah, well, his pain receptors are turned off from the mutation. From the mutation, he's not a mutant.
Yeah. Didn't we talk about that one day?
Interesting because there's a whole nother movie coming out with what's that guy from I forget his name. His pain receptors. Oh, from The Boys. Huey from The Boys has a movie coming out.
Oh, Jack Quaid.
His pain receptors are turned off.
Oh, what is the name of that movie?
It's in the style of Crank.
What is the name of that
just
movie?
Cringing while he's such a lovable guy too. So it's like, my God.
And he's essentially playing Huey in that movie as well.
Right.
It seems like he has the same demeanor, the same like speaking pattern. Novocaine, that's what it's called.
Novocaine.
And I mean, they even mentioned it in the trailer. they mentioned it in the trailer. He's doing all of this stuff. Like at one part of the trailer, he dropped a gun in like a fry basket. So it was
grease.
Just boiling grease, and he shoves his hand in there to get the gun. And the dude in the trailer was like, "You can still die. You may not be able to feel pain. So you can get shot and not feel it, but if they shoot you in the heart, you are still gonna die."
Can't wait to see that one. Y'all let us know if y'all want us to review that.
Yeah,
I'm just
that
see it anyway.
should come out. When is that coming out?
Drums,
I don't know.
please.
I got a date.
Summertime.
Probably. This seems like a summer movie.
Well,
nope, it's March. Springtime. Springtime. Yeah, let us know if y'all want us to review Novocaine.
In the theaters for summer-ish time.
Nah, it'll probably be out of theaters by then. What's up?
Yeah, they don't stay long in theaters anymore.
They do not.
It's crazy how times have changed. They used to stay in the theaters for at least 6 to 8 months, and then there was a 4-month wait period between leaving the theaters,
and then coming to video
like had to leave
DVD
worldwide, and then coming to DVD or then coming to streaming. But now you got 2 weeks in the theaters, and man, we're streaming.
If you're not making money in the theaters, they take you out quick, putting you on Amazon. You can rent it or buy it.
That's it. That is it. And I'm like, when did that start happening? I went to go see some things, and I was like, oh, it's not here anymore. Wait a minute.
It came out last month.
Hey, don't be upset. It's at home. Like, what do you mean it's at home? Yeah, you just go here, you go watch.
I mean, but to be fair, yeah, you missed out on experience, but it is probably cheaper to rent it on streaming than to buy a ticket at the movie theater to go see it.
I don't know. Only in COVID, thank God. So we don't have to worry about those comparisons. I kind of wish it stayed in theaters a little longer.
Yeah.
I know in COVID time, we were debating, hey, just release it on streaming, because we had things like Trolls that hit $1 billion and some other things that hit $1 billion because it was a family-friendly movie that everybody was at home. They needed something to watch, and they watched it multiple times.
Didn't work for Black Widow, though.
There's so many other reasons why Black Widow didn't do well. So many
Black Widow.
And I think that was the debate, right?
Yeah.
That was what Marvel had the big debate, whether we release it on streaming or send it to theaters. It was right coming out of COVID.
Yeah. Like you said, there was a lot of things that was working against Black Widow and to why that didn't succeed.
I know what wasn't working against Black Widow. Elena
Belova,
yeah. Well, I wanted to say Florence Pugh, but
I mean that too.
I was battling in my mind.
She was a saving. If there was any saving grace about Black Widow, it was Florence Pugh.
That was her movie, and I don't want to offend Scarlett Johansson because there's nothing taken away. She has another movie coming out where listen. When you have an actress or an actor dedicated to a genre of movies, because somebody like Scarlett Johansson doesn't have to do action-based movies. She can do very dialogue.
She's done dramatic stuff before. She's done comedic stuff before.
Exactly. And it's like, again, like Florence Pugh. You've seen her in Dune. You've seen her in a lot of other stuff that she, what's the movie she did with Harry Styles where she was the Stepford wife or something?
Yeah, it was something just like Stepford wife.
She carried a movie. So it's not like it is an honor and a privilege to have some of these actors and actresses of their caliber come and do a role in a genre that we enjoy and kill it. That's why we were
Don't Worry, Darling is the name of it.
We were shaken by the Jonathan Majors situation because Jonathan Majors, you can like him, you can hate him. He's a phenomenal actor.
Yeah.
That's it, period. You can call him method, you call him not method. He's a phenomenal actor. So he brought nuances to the Kane character. Again, he didn't write the story to say that he was going to get beaten by ants. That's not his job. His job is to this is the story.
He portrayed getting his ass beat by ants in the best way possible. That was what he had to do.
I believe he got carried away by ants. That's his job fulfilled. So personally, I don't have anything to say about that matter because I wasn't involved in it, and I'm not going to say right and wrong is wrong. I don't know. I wasn't there. But as an actor, he kills it. And if you got actors like that coming to kill roles, Tom is Loki. You can't take that away from him.
Right.
He came in audition for Thor, but he made Loki his own.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's everybody's talking about Hugh Jackman and who's going to replace Hugh Jackman when it's time to replace the Wolverine character. You're running into the same situation with Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
You're running into the same situation with Tom and Loki. Like, these guys have created these characters, and you cannot take it away from them. They're synonymous. There's other versions of Thor, but Chris Hemsworth's version of Thor stands out above them all.
Yeah.
Who are you going to get to be your Thor, and how's that Thor going to be different?
Right.
I say all that to say this. What if Marvel made some different choices?
I think that's been on the minds of
you might not have
the
MCU like it is right now.
Yeah.
They took some bold risks.
I think I really think that
failed on some too.
After the MCU like made their first, probably like after the Avengers, after 2012 Avengers, people were asking themselves, well, I think because that was about the time where it was started to come out, oh, this person could have been Tony Stark, this person could have been Captain America, like you said. Tom Hiddleston auditioned for Thor.
Tom Cruise to be Iron Man.
Yeah, and so what if Tom Cruise was Tony Stark? What if Tom Hiddleston actually got the part of Thor? Do we think we would have seen a jacked Tom Hiddleston like the way that Chris Hemsworth was in the first Thor, trying to pull the hammer out of the mud? Can we? And I can't picture Tom Hiddleston looking that big.
And let me tell you what. Well, so the characters are made for certain people. The fact that Chris committed to the role to get that big is the same thing that made Robert Downey Jr. stand out. The same thing that made Josh Brolin stand out. The thing that created Henry Cavill to stand out, as well as Hugh Jackman of recently, but of always. The commitment to the physical regimen of becoming that superhero.
Right.
The discovery of yourself in that commitment of the physical regimen to becoming a superhero.
Yeah, because the Thor that Chris Hemsworth played in Thor is absolutely not the same Thor that Chris Hemsworth played in Love and Thunder.
Exactly. So there's certain characters and there's certain ways that they want, people to look.
Yeah.
And I think that commitment to the physical aspect of it sets you apart. It sets you apart. That's why Marvel is always trying to show their lead actor in a single base led movie with that comic book. They want you to see that they're doing research on that character. They want to see that person in the gym committed to the physical. How what's his name? Kingo. That's the actor's name.
Kamal Nanjiani.
Even shirtless.
Yeah.
They just praised him for getting in shape. He's ready.
And then the thing about it is, and especially because they didn't really have to. The Eternals, I should say, the Eternals, like Kamal didn't have to get in that kind of shape for that role, because the things that he was doing, one, weren't too physical, because of course their powers are, kind of cosmic. So it's not like he's doing any kind of fist fighting. And then two, the costume or the outfit, the clothing that he was wearing was full bodied. It wasn't, I think maybe like in the beginning when he's introduced as the Bollywood actor, he had like a sleeveless something on, but other than that, full sleeves head to toe, he's covered. So it's not like he had the shirtless scenes that Chris Evans and Chris Hemsworth and even Paul Rudd had. Nobody thought that we were going to see a ripped Paul Rudd when we saw Ant-Man. Yep. But like you said, they committed to it. We didn't think
that we was going to see Chris Pratt ripped. Right. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right.
Especially coming off of Parks and Recreations, where he was a very heavy set individual. So that commitment says a lot when you're crossing over to do a superhero movie.
Yeah.
And if you're not going to engage with that, people are going to look at it like, I'm really wanting to see how they're going to go about this new Superman movie, because I'm not taking anything away from the gentleman, but that suit's padded. And that's not to say that it can't happen that way. Clearly, the boys, Anthony Starr has a padded suit,
Right.
but how distracting is it in the story?
Right.
Maybe not for some. Maybe it's for some. Maybe because if you're looking and then analyzing, like, oh, that suit creased weird right there, like right through his bicep, like, and nobody's gonna call that because again, what he's saying was probably more important than redoing it because that bicep crease. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you're weighing the options, but how much does that take you out of the story? Because biceps don't crease that way. You know what I mean?
And then the thing about it is that after, because we know trailers come out well before the film comes out. So they could do some re-editing. They can fix some things in post-production. Because as we saw with
movie magic,
with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, after Sam got his new uniform, his cowl basically, like around his head, I saw on the, what do they call their making of show, Assembled, Marvel's Assembled. They were talking about how like the costume, like right here around his neck, every time he turned his head, it wrinkles up because that's the way that fabric and material works. When you have something that's like fastened up here, but then loosen up around his neck, because we don't want a Michael Keaton Batman 89 situation where he has to turn his whole body just because the leather's not, you don't want the leather to crease. And so they clean it up in post. They clean it up with CGI. So you never know, they might clean something up like that with CG before the film comes out.
They have a whole department, and that's what I do respect about Marvel, that's dedicated to details. And that's the secret. If you don't pay attention to that, they are dedicated to details. But that's not to say that they don't make mistakes.
Clearly, absolutely. And we pointed it out many times.
They love running it on Black Panther. How these sneakers so soundproof, you can hear them running up that ramp. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. They missed it. I got it. But just have that same energy for the stuff that you do appreciate.
Yeah, exactly. But we got
Spider, What If?
What If? Season 3, final season of What If. No more What If as a TV show.
What if
coming from Disney Plus? What if it continued?
Why are we canceling it?
I don't think we're not canceling it. I think they're just figuring that it ran its course. Season. Yeah, I mean, you theoretically could have an infinite number of What If episodes because they're not directly taking them from the comics, because we saw that in What If Season 2 where they introduced a new character of Cohorty.
You introduced two new characters.
What second character?
Darcy and Howard the Duck had
Birdie.
A baby.
Yeah, Birdie is a new character. Birdie. Yeah.
Yeah, this is Marvel started. This is new character territory.
Yeah. So theoretically,
the controversy was always how Howard was going to get with a woman, but clearly in his own movie, standalone movie, he quacked up. So don't act like you didn't see it when you saw it.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people clearly didn't see Howard the Duck.
They got streaming, and Disney opened the vote, and I'm sure Marvel
is Howard the Duck on Disney Plus.
If you use a VPN, it
is. This stream sponsored by NordVPN.
Got him.
That would have been an excellent segue had we been sponsored. But
hey, tell them to call you. We'll take it.
But no, so we got 9 episodes, which is kind of standard for these Disney Plus series.
I want to slap them in the face, but it's okay.
But I feel like for a show like What If, where the entire season isn't connected, basically an anthology series, each episode is somewhat different to follow. It is and it isn't, because
we have a storyline.
We do have a storyline, and that's one of the complaints that I have about this season, and we'll get to that in just a second. But a lot of the episodes in this season didn't, and I mean with all 3 seasons, you had some episodes that were connected to this through line throughout the season, but then you had some of them that weren't. Like last year we had What If Happy Hogan Saved Christmas. That had nothing to do with, I won't say it had nothing to do with everything else, because we did see him show up at the end when Doctor Strange was collecting all of these entities from the different universes. We did see Happy's mutated Hulk purple, whatever the fuck he was supposed to be. Now. He showed up at the end. But as far as the whole story of Stephen Strange trying to manipulate the universe to make his own, Happy didn't really have any kind of bearing on that. But they're not connected, but then they are connected a little bit, because like the first half of this season didn't really have anything to do with the overall storyline that we've gotten from What If. And like I said, that was probably my biggest complaint about this season, is that we end season 2 with, what was it, Captain Carter having to go, she was stuck in this medieval universe, and then she's fighting Doctor Strange, and they have this big to do at the end of the season. And now we get into season 3, and your first kind of like first 4.5 episodes didn't really show anything connecting to that overall storyline. It wasn't until at the end of episode 5 when Uatu starts saying, and of course you already know, if you watch this show, we get into it. Spoilers.
If you know,
it's going to be spoilers. So if you haven't watched What If,
it's going to be.
If you know,
you might want to run away, find popcorn, go sit down and watch. It's 2025. We don't care. Get at it. Or just enjoy us. We'll give you what you know, and then if you want to watch it, that's how I always feel, Spider. I feel like if they listen to us and then they want to go and watch it based off of what we talked about,
and then they can form their own opinions.
Or if they don't want to watch it based on what we talked about,
that's fine too.
We saved you.
Right.
We put all the hard work in for you.
But close to the end of episode 5, Uatu is like, look, I've seen this play out a million times. It always ends the same, but this time it's going to be different. I'm going to intervene, which is he had swore not to do. So he did that. He broke his oath. He took an oath.
Back when oaths mean something, this time has no relevance. So I guess they still do mean something, or it doesn't. It never meant anything.
Yeah, but so he intervenes, and this isn't the first time he's intervened, because we saw in season 1 he put together a whole team. So
I didn't think he was able to hear him the first time. It's like, I could hear you.
Yeah.
Like, how was that? Do we never journeyed into that? And since it's the last season, I can ask this question.
We still don't know.
Okay.
Because
works for me.
Because we get him intervening with Riri, then we get him intervening with Shang-Chi and Hawkeye's universe in 1872 back in the Wild West, and then the next episode we get Captain Carter's now on the team with Birdie, Cohorty, and the mighty Thor, who's Storm. And
that makes sense, though.
It does. It absolutely does.
If they never did anything that made sense, Storm being able to be the goddess of thunder and lightning when she has weather manipulating powers already,
it's like it writes itself.
Right?
But we know we never get any type of explanation as to why, because we saw at the end of season 2 Uatu brought Captain Carter into the 5th dimension and showed her everything. So has she been going around to other universes, like, because we see Captain Carter come in because they're fighting, what were they fighting? They were fighting the tentacle monster,
little Cthulhu. Cthulhu,
and they came into the universe where Nebula joined the Nova Corps because she had Yondu's fin and all this other kind of stuff. So
which they had episode kind of close to that.
Yeah, that was the first episode of season 2, I believe.
I got it.
Yeah, so they bring Nebula back for that, and so we don't know what Captain Carter has been doing this whole time, because I feel like instead of
apparently chasing this Hulu monster.
Yeah, because I was about to say, instead of Uatu intervening, why not just send Captain Carter as a multi-dimensional, like the multi-dimensional Avengers? Like
that's what we got. I think that's who they are now.
So
but here's a question.
Yeah.
If this is the same tentacle monster that she fought originally.
Yes.
Because she said we've been fighting for a while. So that insinuates it's the same one. What other threats to the multiverse is happening that they needed to form a team because they're already established when we meet them,
right?
And then we don't go into that at all.
And then
we just know Uatu,
because we know that Infinity Ultron was a threat to the multiverse, which caused Uatu to put together a team. But then at the end, he sent all of them back to their original universe
because he heard them.
Yeah,
he heard Uatu.
Yeah,
he's like, I hear somebody who is there, and I guess they're compelled to answer. So if you don't answer, he just sits there after he annihilated everybody. So he's been sitting there for hundreds of years, starting to rust. And I was shocked too to see that he was not abiding his programming, realizing the error in his code after everybody's annihilated. I guess if you have sentience and deductive reasoning, once you fulfilled your purpose, you can come to that conclusion, but wouldn't come to that conclusion because you didn't have that data of nobody being here. It's like, oh, that defied the purpose.
Right.
But I had to answer my primary objective, and my calculation showed me that was the only way based off billions of calculations. I just need to take y'all out. Y'all are that defeated the purpose.
Right. I wanted to achieve peace, but after eliminating everybody, I find that this is not peace. This is just nothingness.
Annihilation. Yeah.
Right.
He's so I could see how he would be like, yeah, my bad.
Like, yeah,
I messed up. Yeah,
I fucked up.
All right, I fucked that one. But so that was my programming,
Right. But so this is what I want to do. Like we said, it's 2025. We're doing different things. We're trying different things. So we got 9 episodes. We got 9. Something never changed. We got 9 episodes in this season, or whatever. Like we said, it's connected, but it's not connected. So
it is. We'll just like us. We're on and we're off. We're here, then we're not.
Yeah, what if? That's very true.
Well, we're back now. So whatever.
We are back. So what I want to do is we'll just do real quickly. Go through each episode and just talk about it real quick, and then after we finish talking about the episode, we'll say whether or not we thought that episode was super, and then at the end we'll say whether or not we think the whole season of What If season 3 is super. How you feel about that?
You're getting technical with it. Details matter, ladies and gentlemen. If they give you an IKEA furniture and they don't give you any screws, Details matter.
All right.
Let's do it.
So we got the first episode of season 3. What if the Hulk fought the Mech Avengers? So we got Bruce Banner in his despair trying to rid himself of the Hulk, creates this Gamma monster. And the Avengers create these Mech Avengers to fight the Gamma monster. They go away. Then they come back some years later and they have to fight him again. And then we get Bruce Banner turning himself into like a Hulk Godzilla type monster creature type thing to defeat what do they call him? The Apex? The Apex monster or whatever.
Yeah. Who was that for?
I don't know.
Who was that for?
I don't know.
Let's do this. I'll say this. I'll say what I appreciated about it. One, I appreciate we're establishing Captain America, or Sam Wilson was Captain America.
Right.
I appreciate the similarities on your left with Bruce, and Monica was there. I appreciate that.
Moon Knight was there.
And don't feel like he should have been there.
They really could have just replaced him with anybody at that point. It was just an ancillary character. Else. They just had to have somebody.
They could have put me there. They could have put anybody.
They really could have put
a fire hydrant there. I don't know why they hate Moon Knight. I don't think Oscar Isaac did nothing wrong with the character.
He didn't do anything wrong, but it just at that point they just needed another character because they had to have 5 to create the Optimus, not Optimus, they're Megazord.
Voltron?
Yeah, it's basically like Voltron, yeah.
Again, so who was that for? That's just I
don't know.
I don't want to watch Pacific Rim when I'm watching the Avengers. I don't want to, I don't want to see Godzilla.
And then my thing about it is you get Voltron, you have, Power Rangers and then Megazord and everything. It's always smaller robots coming together to make a bigger robot.
Yeah, let's do this. Oh, I didn't know we could do that.
But the thing about it is that they had all of these mechs come together, but how was the combined mech still the same size as the other mechs? Because you're taking 5 things that are 10 stories tall to come together to make a thing that's still 10 stories tall. I'm like, how did that? I know is Tony created them all and everything, but how does that work out?
The important piece is compressed down, and to make the punches more impactful, they gotta compress inside it.
Okay, they gotta fold into itself.
There you go. Let's try to sprinkle some logic on this nonsense. I don't know.
Tony Stark did have his suit that was condensed into a briefcase, so it's not impossible.
It has to be, because the amount of damage that he's taken inside of that suit and not died, you got to have some type of compression. And this is way before kinetic energy was established. So, but I don't know who the audience was for. I appreciate Sam. I appreciate Monica. I appreciate Bruce. I appreciate the voice acting. I appreciate the story that started.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not a huge fan of what are kaijus and Zords. I stopped watching Voltron a long time ago. So the Power Rangers as well. The reason I watched the Power Rangers was for the martial arts. When they went morphin time, I walked out the door. I don't really.
You didn't want to see them fight the Putty Patrol?
Well, see, you can only do so much stuff is believable. And then it got to a point, I think they had one Megazord that had a ball and chain. Kind of like how Kill Bill, the young lady had a ball
Lucy
and chain.
Liu had
she was whipping it, and like machines don't move like that. And
right.
Well, I don't think it was. I think it was a young teenage girl that got the.
Oh yeah, that wasn't Lucy Liu. That was the.
She got the floorboard to the face.
Right. No, I know what you're talking about. But yeah, no, I'm with you 100%. I thought the story itself of Sam trying to connect with Bruce on an emotional level to get to the man within the monster, and try to, because we get introduced to Sam in Captain America Winter Soldier, and
we get to see the boat.
Right. And so we know that he was this counselor type person, helping people through their issues, through their grief, through their trauma, through their past, and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so on that level, the story was great. I felt like at the point to where after, Bruce tried to get rid of the Hulk and created this apex monster, the fact that Sam didn't even want to talk to him after that, I felt like was a little weird. Out of his character, because I felt like, even though I know some time had passed, I feel like Sam Wilson is not the type of person to give up on somebody like that, to not want to, because Monica was basically saying, who we have to go to now that this entity has evolved to where they've created, offspring of their own and created an entire army. The person who understands this the most would be Bruce. He's like, I'm not getting him involved, to the point to where Monica's like, Bucky, you know what you need to do. Go find Bruce.
Right. We're not even playing with him. Like,
it seemed odd to me that Sam would be that against going into Bruce, because he had, harboring, bad feelings towards him after the first time.
So they should have said the title of this episode, "What if Sam was an asshole?" that's more appropriate to what's going on. Then it all makes sense, right? Because you're expecting Sam to be an asshole. For us to not know he's going to be an asshole in this, or just bullheaded and pig offish and
also my thing, and it's not, because it's been done in multiple properties where you have a human person trying to connect with a monstrous type figure, is that when Sam is trying to connect to Gamma Boosted Hulk, whatever, got Hulkzilla or whatever they wanted to call it. I don't know. I don't even think it had a name. But when Sam is trying to connect with Hulkzilla,
the new Apex,
it's like he had to get down to his eye level, and like Is it just is it just to have to show a size comparison or anything? Because I'm pretty sure he could still see him, like from wherever he is. He didn't have to, like Sam's here. He didn't have to get his eye right there. Because I mean, at that point, you can't see anything. You put anything that close to your eye, you can't see it.
If you're that big, you can't even hear me. I can't
exactly.
Hear you. Do you have a mosquito that's in front of your eye? Yeah, you're right. And I'm sure he's telling me
buzz.
He's telling me I want to bite you, but I'm in the wrong spot. Let me get closer to your ear. When he's by your ear, you're like, oh no, don't bite me, Mr. Mosquito. But when he's right here in your eye, it's like, is that a spider or a mosquito or a gnat? Or what is this? What is this? So the sizes were just weird. Anyway, no. No, just no.
So you're saying that for you, what if the Hulk fought the Mech Avengers, super, not super?
What if he didn't? What if he didn't?
What if they just left him in his little plane
camp? What if
they
took another story? Yeah, I say no. No, it's not super for me.
Yeah,
There's parts in it that I would have loved to see him explore. But, under the banner of what if, I guess that's the, paint by numbers, or if you don't like it, hey, it's just a what if story. But I think what if it was better? How about that?
Yeah. I feel like the whole concept of Mech Avengers defeats the purpose of what the Avengers are. The Avengers are supposed to be mortals,
right?
Not necessarily humans, but mortals, people who can die.
Or enhance.
Yeah, enhance people.
Because that's what Cap called them, and if we got an enhanced, so we got to honor what Cap said. Or enhance.
But even if they aren't enhanced, because we have Hawkeye, we have Black Widow, we have Shang-Chi. Well, Shang-Chi has mystical abilities and all that.
Something. His accuracy is too on.
He's just a practice former circus performer. That's all Hawkeye is.
It's the same thing. Turn the TV off.
It's the same thing with Black Widow. Because you remember in Black Widow, she fell 5 stories outside of a building,
every air conditioner and guardrail, fire escape, and landed on her feet,
and then stood right back up. And
not a cat, a spider landed on her feet.
Yeah, and she just stood up and was like, that kind of might have tweaked my back or something.
Yeah, you on that John Walker. That's what it is. It's not Super Soldier Sim. It's that Johnny Walker. That's what you on.
But yeah, no, I agree with you. I like I said, Mech Avengers, mech suits defeat the purpose of, in my opinion, what the Avengers are.
Everybody wants to see Captain America because they want to know how Sam's going to be able to fight a Red Hulk. Right. You're not enhanced. You don't have super soldier. If you try to do that Winter Soldier, Captain America shield, boom type of thing.
No, you just punch right through it. Because I mean, it's like
thank you.
The scene at the end.
Before we say that though, let me say this.
Okay.
We have seen that suit do some things. We've seen that suit bear down into the ground with the shield on top and deflect stuff.
Yeah.
So we've seen it, but as far as Sam doing it, Sam shouldn't be able to hold Thanos' glove.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That scene in Infinity War where Thanos was about to just try to grab Captain America and Steve was holding his hand back. Sam can't do that. Because, I mean, the thing about it is it's really all upon the shield at that point, which, I mean, they have established that it being a vibranium shield. It absorbs all the energy coming from whatever is going to hit it, so none of it is spread to the person who's wielding the shield. So technically, Sam can take a punch from the Hulk, and it won't.
Whatever.
The shield.
The way energy goes, that energy has to dissipate somewhere.
It dissipates in the shield.
It's going to find the lowest point.
I don't know.
Whatever.
I'm pretty sure.
No, because this is a vibranium conversation. So
but it should.
If vibranium when he hits the shield, energy,
all of that energy dissipates into the shield and reverberates out. So it should, when he hits the shield, all of that energy goes out that way, but not backwards towards Sam.
I could respect that, but as pressure goes,
it should just shatter his arm.
All your forearm is in pressure. Unless you're telling me it takes some pressure too. I'll be like, that's the most amazing metal
that's why they wanted the vibranium. That's why they were trying to get it.
Yes, so goddamn.
You kind of got to keep it safe. I know, right? Why don't we all have vibranium clothes or something?
I'm about to flip my lip and get this tattoo. Let me in there. Let me slide in and get some of this magical metal.
But no, I'm with you on it. Not super. All right. Then we have episode 2. What if Agatha went to Hollywood? So we got Agatha is a Hollywood actress, and in her role, she's trying to get the attention of the Eternals because she knows that Tiamat is underneath the earth getting ready to emerge, and she wants the power of a celestial for herself. So she took the powers of all the other Eternals, but the last one that she needs is Kango. So she pulls Kango into her film to get his power, or to get him to agree to let her have her power so she can go into the earth, get Tiamat's power, which catches the attention of Erisham, what is he? The judge? Yeah, the judge. I think that's his full name, Erisham the Judge, or something like that.
Yeah.
So she gets his attention.
You have those long handle names, man. That's hard to fit on a business card. You know?
So
Erisham.
She gets the power. She gets the power of 2 Eternals because she sucks the celestial energy from Erisham, and she. At the end of the day, I don't think she gave the power up, but she came back to Earth to go back to being an actress. So you not only are you a witch, but you have the power of the Eternals and the power of 2 Celestials, but you come back to Hollywood so you can be an actress.
Yeah, you do what you love, Sway. You do what you love.
That's what it was
to do. Well, she's, and then Howard was there as,
And I didn't think that was the same, because that was Dominic Cooper who played Howard Stark in Captain America: The First Avenger. I honestly, I had to look it up because I didn't recognize his voice at first. But because it seemed so comically upbeat. Like he was just too energetic. Like I know Howard in the 20s and 30s, he was a bit more energetic than the Howard that we saw, like John Slattery's older Howard Stark. But that was just like, I know it's a cartoon, but it was just energy level at 11 at all times. Like I know he was supposed to be, this 1920s movie director, and just like all that energy, but it was like it was way up here.
Cab Calloway doing
all of that.
Hey, got it. I got it.
And honestly, I told Michelle when we were watching that, I'm like, what is What If doing? I was like, this is so, and the word I kept going back to was just, it's wacky. This is so much wackier than anything else that we've seen in What If up to this point. And it's like, what is happening? It's like the dance number for the movie, I felt went on way too long. And the animation, I was not a fan of the way that the dance was animated, because it made whatever they did for the motion capture for the dance, I don't know if they just like freehand animated it or if they actually had somebody dancing the routine and they animated off the motion capture, but it's made their limbs look like I don't know if they sped it up or something, but something about the dancing just didn't seem right. Like however they animated it just didn't seem right. And and the fact that it went on so long, I was like, this is way too much.
It went on a minute. It went on a whole longer than it needed to.
Yeah.
I will say that. It did. You got the full number.
You did. And we didn't need the full number.
You got the full number. So ain't no secret coming off of Agatha all along. We didn't touch it. We can if you want to, but it's no secret. It's 2025. We spoiled everything.
Right.
We like gumbo that sat out too long.
So spoiled.
We spoiled. I'm so spoiled. Steak in here. That show was phenomenal.
Yes.
If you didn't watch it, go and watch it. Clearly takes off the Wizard of Oz and takes you on that journey on the Witch's Road.
Yes.
So didn't she come? Catherine Hahn came back to voice this, right?
Yeah,
Because
she
that was
did.
her.
Yeah,
Definitely.
all of those characters, Catherine Hahn, Kumail Nanjiani voiced Kango. We had Dominic Cooper as Howard Stark. We had James Darcy. I think that was his name. No, James Darcy is somebody else. But the guy who portrayed, no, his name is James Darcy. He played Jarvis in the
Yes.
Captain Carter series.
Yes.
And so he came
Who
back and he played
later on in Endgame played
yeah, and later on in Endgame
Jarvis.
played Jarvis. So yeah, he came back and he voiced Jarvis. But yeah,
Left in
all of those original actors
in a
came
big
back to
old
voice their
bag of Marvel
characters.
cash. I appreciated this one, Spider. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I appreciated this one not for that dance number, but for the fact that they stayed true to Agatha's character.
Yeah.
And I can't see where else we're gonna get Agatha of recent besides touching this Champions or Young Avengers or wherever they're going with the Tommy Quest,
Right.
or Vision Quest. Um, so I appreciated that because again, where else she's gonna fit in. And it was a nice little addition coming after Agatha all along. It was true to the character.
Mm-hmm.
She, I wouldn't say a lust for power, but if you knew that there was a power tapping in to it, only gives you more of what you want, and you have the ability to. It's not even the ability to, because this is so interesting about the Agatha character. Which is again even more interesting if you watch any version of WandaVision, not WandaVision. Let's just take it as a whole. WandaVision, Multiverse of Madness, Agatha All Along.
Right.
In that trilogy, Wanda destroys the Darkhold.
Yeah.
From that point on, we don't talk about the Darkhold. It's just I don't know if that's how they're doing it deliberately, but
they
because inside
to
of
it in a little bit in Agatha All Along.
Agatha All Along, right? She created
like the first couple episodes, they alluded to it. They never revealed what she did to get it. They only let people speculate. Right. And then from then on out, it was just all about the Witch's Road and Billy and the rest of the witches.
But it has a part to play in her story, but it didn't. Yeah, it was hinted at, and maybe there's some cuts that they decided to cut out. But at the same time, they stayed true to the character because she got the ability to absorb witches' powers from what we understand from what her mother said by practicing with the Darkhold. And it's something that she can't control. It's just if you attack her, her defense mechanism is I'm going to take your power.
Right.
And I think somewhere along the line, quietly as kept, what we learned from this, she's learned how to control that.
Mm-hmm.
So she could suck you dry or she could leave you with some life essence.
Right.
Because at the end of that, Billy was like, don't take all of it. And the question was she
going to?
Because she's so morally gray, she could if she wanted to, and you could not think twice about it. I know your mama. Me and your mama don't even get along. You know, she done put me on this cat. You don't come in my house and you broke the curse, but you got a little attitude too. I could just be done with you.
Right.
And then to turn around and have the interview the way that it is, then it's even more reason. But again, this stayed true to her character because if there's a greater power out there and I have the ability to get it, yeah, I'm going to get it. No, I can't get it without this piece. I'm going to manipulate this man to get this guy here, get his. And then she didn't take it. He knew what was going on.
Yeah.
And it was like, I know what you're doing. I'm here to stop you.
Right.
You can't. And
no.
Let me get that. All right.
And then, so like you said, also true to her character, but sort of a growth that we saw culminate in Agatha All Along, but which would not have culminated if because this happened in the 1930s, where she didn't have that character growth that we had in 2024 in Agatha All Along.
Right.
She told Kango, I didn't kill them. So she took the powers from the other Eternals, but she didn't kill them. Up to that point, from what we know in Agatha's history, she killed everybody that she came across.
Slay them. Just keep singing. Oh, y'all did it wrong. They attacked.
All y'all are worthless.
She gotta get them to attack. That's a hard existence to carry on. Like they showed you in Fight Club, you could try to provoke a fight. People are not gonna. They'll remove themselves from you, thinking there's something wrong with you. Versus, I mean, if it comes down to it, everyone's gonna fight, but not everyone's gonna fight. Some people get bullied and picked on because they don't know how to fight. But that's a hard thing to do. And then if you, again, I'm spoiling it. If you watch the show, that's a part of her existence now. So it's almost like she's compelled to do this to survive. Having this be the mission of me achieving, the takeaway that I got from that, she's now has so much power, she doesn't have to do that now. She's a Celestial. She's a 2-time Celestial. She's probably one of the strongest characters in it. Just the thing.
So you're saying canon, now that she's
ultra strong characters,
right? So now that she's that powerful, she doesn't have to chase after power anymore. So that's why she went back to acting. Because, like Kengo said, we do it for the love of it.
Exactly.
Okay. I hadn't thought about it that way.
She doesn't need to search for power anymore. She got all the power she needs.
I mean, that's the highest level of power that I think you can get is the power of a Celestial, right?
Remember, a Celestial was killed, beheaded by a necro sword, a dark sword,
right?
That ebony blade.
Well, I mean, of course.
So it's not like you can't die.
No, definitely not saying that she can't die, because even for the most powerful being, there is always going to be a more powerful weapon. But I don't know what higher level of power she could get from another being. Like, is there a level higher than a Celestial that she could absorb power from them that would keep her like searching for that power?
Searching for, you have to search for it if you're searching for it, but there's always level. There's in Marvel, the one above all is the highest there is.
Yeah.
But if you listen to the name, which they don't talk about, this is probably Mr. VIP Frankie Washington giving you his infinite awesomeness to say, if you listen to the name, the one above all hints that there's one. So the one is above all. The one above all is the whole name of the one above all. There's no one above him. But if you listen to the name, the one is before the all. So if there's a character, which I don't think there is, that exists in the MCU, maybe they'll take this and make the one. But that would probably be Stan Lee or Jack Kirby or whoever actually. Those guys did not start Marvel. Did you know that?
Yeah, no, I know.
As prominent as they are,
they created some of Marvel's most iconic characters. But no, they weren't.
But that is not.
No, they did not start the company.
So guess what? Whoever started the company,
that is the one above all.
The one. That is the one. That is the one. Not the one above all, just the one. He is above all.
So what if Agatha went to Hollywood, super or not super?
I liked it. I rock with it. It's super to me because, again, she stayed true to the character. Kengo stayed true to his character. He was showing up to be a hero. I love when they made fun of his picture. I felt like that when I saw him in the trailer. I'm like, no, that didn't do my boy Kengo like that.
That's all you can do.
He shoots energy from his fingers.
Yeah.
That's not all he shoots it from. 15. Anyway, it was super to me, dude. Super to me. What you think? You think, man, that dance number did go on too long, so I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
No,
it
you
was
definitely
a nice number. It was real Bollywood.
Oh, absolutely. It was like it was a Bollywood, like you said, a Bollywood cabaret type, dance battle type thing.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm not mad at him for trying different stuff.
No, the concept of it was great, but like I said, the animation looked wonky. It went on way too long. No, you definitely kind of opened my mind about because I was real like questioning the ending of it. It was like she's searching for this power. She has this power. Now, why is she just going back to acting? But it makes sense now. Like, I've achieved what I wanted to accomplish, so now I'm going to do what I enjoy. And
Thanos started gardening.
Yeah, Thanos started gardening. And we see in Agatha all along, Agatha is very theatrical. It's like if she was not going around killing other witches, you can see her being some type of performer. She's very of the flourish. But I mean, so you've definitely kind of changed my mind on the ending of it. But I just the combination of the overly cartoonish Howard Stark and the dance number, and it was just, for me, it's very campy. Just not the kind of thing that I'm into. For that episode, I would say it's not super for me.
Hey, if they cry, hopefully it's in a soft pillow. It's okay.
Okay, so speaking of campiness, episode 3, what if the Red Guardian stopped the Winter Soldier? So we get Sebastian Stan, we get David Harbour back as Alexei I forget what Alexei's last name is. Shostakov. So we we have Sebastian Stan as Bucky, we have David Harbour as the Red Guardian, we get Lauren Fishburne back as Bill Foster, and we also got America Ferrera. She was Ranger Morales, so she was running around with Lawrence Fishburne's character. So we get,
why she has so much attitude.
I don't know.
Why she why Rio has so much attitude?
I mean, I don't think. Do you think that was an alternate universe Rio? I just thought it was just somebody with the last name Morales. I didn't think that it necessarily had to be Rio Morales.
So let's talk about that real fast. Okay. It's clear in comic books, names matter. Yeah, they give you first name and a last name just to differentiate you out of everybody. And then that's the thing, they didn't give her a first name. She was just Ranger Morales. I think that was real.
Okay.
And I thought it was a nice little Easter egg, because what if Rio wasn't married to Jeff? Would she be in law enforcement? And I think she, for that episode, would be. Just for that episode. But
that would be a twist. No, yeah, she absolutely had a lot of attitude.
So that's what made me think more so it was her, because I felt like it was that Dominican, that Puerto Rican. I felt like they was giving out that.
But so I actually just rewatched Black Widow again because it was on FX and I just had it on and was just watching it again. And
I'm sorry.
It's not that bad.
You can watch Daredevil. You can watch like the Netflix versions.
No, I know.
To get ready for this Born Again.
Oh, I started rewatching Daredevil. I just hadn't gone back to it. I'm just watching other stuff. But one of the things was in Black Widow, Alexei wanted to get back to being the Red Guardian. We open up Black Widow. He's in Ohio with Natasha and Yelena. They're doing an undercover. They're doing an undercover mission going to, I forget the name of the institute, but they're stealing information on how to unlock the brain to be able to control it. So Dreykov can control his widows without them having to fight him back. And so when
it's clear that he's not using his pheromones, because that's what worked in our timeline. He hasn't discovered the pheromones yet.
No, absolutely not. But so we
what type of bust you got?
It had to be
stink so bad, I don't even want to come close to you. That's what you literally saying. I smell so bad, they won't even kill me.
Right. But in once they succeeded in Ohio, Alexei is like, I want to get back to being Red Guardian. I was Russia's first and only super soldier. I want to go back to being it. That was his love. That was his passion. And so this episode of What If, Alexei is still the Red Guardian. He finds out that Bucky's been sent on a mission because the Hydra operating in Russia has control of Bucky. They have him brainwashed. And so he's out to complete his mission. What was it? December 18th, 19th. I forget the exact date.
Okay. MCU will remind you.
Yeah, MCU will remind me. But so he goes to retrieve the super soldier serum, which I think that's what Howard and Maria were transporting. And in the as part of the mission, no witnesses. So he goes to kill Howard and Maria, but Red Guardian stops him. So they get away with the super soldier serum, but Howard and Maria live. And so Bill Foster, Ranger Morales, they find them, and now there's a manhunt for the Red Guardian and the Winter Soldier. And so it becomes a buddy cop trip across the country to try to get back, into the sense of it ends up they fail the mission because they were supposed to kill him. Well, Bucky was supposed to kill him. And so now Bucky's new mission.
Bucky don't fail.
Bucky doesn't fail. He said he's never failed before. But so the new mission is to kill the Red Guardian, because now the Red Guardian's gone rogue. He stopped the Winter Soldier from completing the mission. So I need to kill the Red Guardian. But on this trip, the Red Guardian becomes friends. He opens up Bucky's heart some kind of way, whereas it took Captain America a whole movie to do it.
Yeah. So the Red Guardian is better than Captain America to save his own friend.
He will live that until the day he dies. He'll tell anybody and everybody that would let him speak it that's what he did. But in the end, Bucky still goes back to Hydra. They put him back in his little cryo sleep to keep him brainwashed, and Red Guardian becomes a school teacher or a gym teacher, and ends up getting recruited by S.H.I.E.L.D. to where he becomes a part of the Avengers at the end.
Listen,
that's sigh.
David Harbour is on a phenomenal career swing right now.
Yeah,
he's working with both sides, and anytime you can work with both sides, and remain Switzerland, you're in a good place.
Right.
Plus, I think there's a Stranger Things spinoff somewhere going on down the line.
Okay.
I don't know how official that is, but he's killing it in the game right now, and I'm happy for him and his success. With that being said, I fell asleep through this episode. Fell asleep through it and didn't even try to go back and watch it. Now, what I appreciate everything that I saw with Lawrence Fishburne, and I went back. I did watch it. I'm not going to tell the tale. I don't like how they did my boy Lawrence. They beat him up. They beat him up too much, and I just don't see it happening like that. Now,
I mean, they're two super soldiers.
They are two super soldiers, but again, as we were speaking for the kaiju up, we're taking physics.
True.
Which, okay, Pym particles work some kind of way that you're able to shrink down but still maintain your density, but not your weight. You can punch and kill somebody, or you can punch and tap them. So somebody's gonna have to break the science down to me, because we got this man taller than a building running behind you and catching up, and then y'all do some fugazi shit, and then no iteration. Or what if? I guess there's no iteration. I just see my boy Lawrence Fishburne or
taking
Bill
a punch
Foster
like that and getting knocked out.
Yeah, he's knocked out. Like, oh. And he ain't even asked for no orange slices. So that part right there.
Well, he had a master though. That was the whole thing. He had a master. Scott needed that help. Well, when he asked for the orange slices, that was the first time he did it.
Well, I fell asleep, and the fact that I fell asleep is telling me something. And they teased this last season.
Because I think this was supposed to. Yeah.
And again, I just felt like, okay, we friends now, and now the end resolve is this. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No.
Didn't do it for you?
It didn't do it for me. It wasn't super at all. What about you, Spider? How you feel about it? I mean, you...
This kind of cemented this run of episodes 2, 3, and 4. It was just, what are we doing? What are we doing with this season?
I felt like that was 1. I felt like that was 1. I was good with 2. I was all right with 2. I mean, good 2 was good.
Because with 1, I didn't know it was going to become a trend. Because 1, it was like, okay, yeah, no, 1, it was like, okay.
What if we knew what we was doing?
1 is like, okay, we started with something different. Then I was thinking at that point, okay, further episodes, we're going to start getting into that, whole overarching storyline, because we all knew Captain Carter was coming back. So we're like, okay, we're going to get into that at some point. But then we got to 2 and 3 where it had no bearing on our previous seasons. I'm like, okay, what's really going on? We can't
follow the story right there after, because now it's a series show.
Yeah.
Instead of being episodic of what if this happened, what if, with the choices and the changing of decisions can branch off into a whole different reality. It's explained in the multiverse.
It is, and it just it's still following the premise of what if. It's not stepping away from that, but it's just something about the first part of this season just made it seem so far removed from everything that we got in the past seasons. Because I know what if the Ravagers picked up T'Challa instead of Peter Quill, right?
Yeah,
and then that ends up coming back because because Ego got Peter Quill and turned him into a weapon. We got to see the end result of that. But it's like that episode,
that made sense too. That was nice tying it in.
Yeah, that was
connected those universes.
Right, exactly. But it's like this, I don't know, again, using that word, wacky. It just seemed very wacky, because the thing about it is that we saw in Captain America and Winter Soldier, once Bucky has his eyes set on something, he's going to make sure he achieves his mission.
Right.
And
that's
as
the brainwashing in him.
Right. And as soon as the Red Guardian stopped him, it was like, and he snapped out of it. And he became Bucky again. He wasn't the Winter Soldier. They're driving to Vegas. He's not Bucky. There's nothing that should have, he's not the Winter Soldier. There's nothing that should have snapped him out of being the Winter Soldier. He should have still been focused.
When they gave him the commands over the phone, I'm expecting an action scene right there.
Right. And he just resisted it. But why? Because even in Civil War, he didn't.
Bad connection.
He did.
He wasn't using a premium phone service. Insert your sponsorship here.
Well, it was in the 90s, so cell networks weren't that great. That's,
you hear me now?
Essentially. But in Captain America Civil War, Bucky gets captured. Zemo is reading the trance words to him.
Book. Yeah.
And Bucky is actively trying to fight it, to where he's trying to break out of his cell so he doesn't hear him, and it still goes through. And there was no resistance from Bucky in that moment. There was nothing that he was doing to try to stop himself from going back into that state, but it didn't work.
Science, bro.
But no, it was just like we were talking about. We saw, Sam being true to his character until he wasn't. We saw Agatha being true to her character. And Red Guardian, this was Alexi. Alexi was being true to his character 100%.
100%.
But
100%.
Bucky, I don't know. There was no lifelong connection, because we can see Steve snapping Bucky out of his trance because I'm with you to the end of the line. That's something from Bucky's past. It's like Alexi just telling him, close your eyes and think. And that's all he needed to do to remember his past. He remembers Coney Island. I was like, have you never tried to do that? You're like, you're out on a mission, you're riding back to Siberia or whatever the hell your base of operations is. You never just kind of just close your eyes and think for a second, what was my life like before all of this? You had to have somebody tell you to do that in order for you to do it, and you just focus hard enough and you can see Coney Island and now your brain is just fixed.
Spider, I wanted him to drive off the
Not
cliff.
super.
I wanted him to drive straight off Thelma and Louise style. I just fell asleep, and I was like, y'all still talking? No, not that episode. No,
not super.
And it's not, again, this stuff is not based on David Harbour. It's not based on Sebastian.
No.
It's based on what.
And I will say, because we talked about it in, I think it was season 1 of What If, where we were talking about the voice acting, and they had Sebastian Stan. And I don't know if Sebastian Stan had done any voice acting prior to that, but Bucky's performance in season 1 of What If was pretty weak. And I will say that because he's been in a couple of episodes when we got to this point, because he was in episode 1 too. He got better. He honestly got better. I will say that Bucky's performances in season 3 was absolutely better than what it was in season 1. So yeah, it's nothing on them. Nothing on them at all.
You had to drive off the cliff because this story sucks. Yeah. It's like you got to stay true to your character. Even in the what if, the situation is different, but the character is the same. We want to see how the character responds in this new, different situation.
Right. It was like, because like we were talking about, what if the Ravagers picked up T'Challa instead of Peter Quill? T'Challa was still T'Challa. He just was a Guardians of the Galaxy T'Challa. He was still he's the same person.
They still respected him like a king.
Exactly. He got Thanos to be a good guy.
That's why that episode stands out, because you still have the same character in different circumstances and situations.
I mean, it's the same thing with Captain Carter. You give her the super soldier serum, she's still the Peggy Carter that she always was, but now she has power. It's not that it changed. It's not that it changed her personality. It's not that it changed her ideals. It just gave her more capabilities and things to do.
You see Miss Atwell? She's definitely a super soldier.
Yeah. All right. Episode 4. What if Howard the Duck got hitched? So we get, however, they did explain it because it was from season 1, what if Thor was an only child? He was throwing that huge party in Vegas. So at that party, Darcy and Howard the Duck meet. They get together, hook up. Well, they got married. End up Darcy getting pregnant.
You
have an egg. And they're trying to.
How she passed that?
I don't know either. I mean, the female body is a magical thing.
It is a beautiful thing. It is the most magical thing.
And so, this child, I guess, I don't know what necessarily call it, but it was supposedly prophesized to have incredible abilities, and to the point to where every entity in the history of the MCU came to come after Ravagers, the Kree, the whatever Caecilius, Shield was coming after it. The Black Order, they came. Ebony Maw, hear us and rejoice! Like, you get the hell out of here. But everybody's coming after this egg. Everybody's coming after this egg. Grandmaster trying to eat the egg for breakfast.
Right?
Just.
Hey, the combination of the Grandmaster and what was that? Boz? That little dynamic.
What? Boz, like his right hand?
Right hand assistant, yeah.
I don't remember
that dynamic.
But yeah, their dynamic is perfect.
That dynamic is on point.
Or was it Roz?
It could be.
Let me see. I'm gonna pull up the episode list.
Well, while you're doing that, I'm gonna look sexy into the camera.
Oh, it's Topaz.
There you go. I was wrong.
But then again, you get Kat Dennings back as Darcy. You get Seth Green back as Howard the Duck. Of course, you got Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury. Thor, Chris Hemsworth had a little cameo, albeit very quickly. Tom Hiddleston back as Frost Giant Loki, because that was the Loki that actually stayed on Jotunheim and grew up with Loki. Clark Gregg back as.
So funny, he's the smallest one out of the giants.
Yeah. Clark Gregg back as Agent Coulson. We got Michael Rooker back as Yondu. We got Rachel House back as Topaz. We got Josh Brolin back as Thanos. We didn't get Jeff Goldblum as the Grandmaster though.
Well, it's scheduling conflicts.
Yeah, and we didn't get Mads Mikkelsen as Caecilius. Well, for like the Grandmaster, Caecilius, and Malekith, we didn't get those original actors back. Christopher Eccleston.
Mikkelsen said he doesn't want to deal with Marvel anymore, huh?
Probably, maybe.
I don't want to do.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
Project.
Some
people hate Marvel.
They didn't want to get sucked into that whole franchise thing. It's like, if I'm going to do this role, this is just, I'm doing this role and that's it. You don't have to bring me back.
I think that was Christian Bale's thing.
Probably.
Well, he's always going to be Batman, so. I think he's going to be remembered more from Batman than.
Oh yeah, Batman and American Psycho.
First of all, American Psycho. Wow, you're just gonna respect that. That's a movie that stands the business cards. Okay, we're gonna move.
Yeah, but for this episode, for me, it was like, again, very wacky. I'm like, what are we doing here? What is this supposed to be? Where are we going with this? And for them to call Thanos and Thanos warps in, he's like, the stones? Do you have stones? Where are the stones?
Like, I'm okay with that because again, the Thanos storyline is from beginning to end. Like we saw everything from his conquest. That's what you can just call it, Thanos' conquest. We don't see young Thanos, and I guess at some point in time we will see that. But because we know the complete story of it, I can take and accept that. I mean, we even seen Thanos and What If have his mind changed. We seen him get killed. So at this point in time, he could pop up being any.
He was a zombie at one point too.
Yeah, definitely with the stones.
With the stones,
that's scary. That would have been a nice episode to come into.
Because I know there's going to be Marvel Zombies. Marvel Zombies, there's a show is coming out. I don't know what direction they're taking that entire show in.
Well, they should have talked to the team and queued something up. And even though it's a standalone show, it's still a Marvel show.
And then we got Loki trying to open a ski chalet in Jotunheim and pitching like his timeshare presentation to Howard and Darcy.
Hey, you got to get some people to sign up for that, and it's just going to cop them some stuff. So, I ain't mad at you, Loki, for that one. Yeah, I'm not mad at this episode.
Yeah.
I understand that they pushed it because, again, the guys behind the scenes really want to get creative with this show. And it's actually Marvel that's kind of confining them to a certain scope of work because they want to use different characters and they're trying to run storylines. And Marvel's like, no, you could do this or you could do that or just work something else out and come back and see what you got. And then we get what we get. So I appreciate them trying to go in a different direction. Again, you and I were talking earlier about Howard the Duck been getting it on since his standalone movie with, women that's willing to go duck.
Yeah.
Once you go duck,
you're out of luck. Something.
I don't remember what he said, but the bottom line is somebody went duck, and that's why I had to I don't know what you were drinking. I don't know how that beak started look like lips, I guess. But to each his own, and then she had an egg. I hope it was soft boiled. And then it
and so
how it was.
I guess what I don't get is beyond the physiology and the anatomical capabilities of a woman and a duck having an egg.
Yeah, it's a comic.
Howard the Duck does not have any superpowers.
Howard the Duck is probably one of the most powerful MCU characters.
Is he?
He has the ability to actually change reality all around him. Now, here's what the thing is.
Where did they say that at? Howard's
so strong. He don't use his powers for whatever reason. I don't know. I've seen this. He has powers. He just doesn't use powers.
I didn't know that.
And he shoots guns. Lots of guns. He's almost like Rocket. He's not as gun thirsty and bloodthirsty as Rocket.
Okay.
He has those abilities, but for whatever reason, they never showed him do any of that. Okay. So there's a reason why the Collector collected him.
Yeah, because that would beg the question: if he didn't have anything, then why? I mean, he is a talking duck, but
when you say that, you immediately brought me to the Rick and Morty episode. Like, why does the cat talk? Don't worry about it. You're asking the wrong question. Get out of Florida. He talks. Okay. But no, he has powers. He just never uses it. I was just like you, fascinated. Like, what?
Right.
I ain't never seen him do nothing. And then they explain it's like, well, that's stupid. But okay. It's unique. Like you have all the untapped potential,
but just
to
don't
do
want
whatever
to
you want,
do anything
but you
with
don't.
it.
You don't use it.
Just
you don't use it.
Sit around and drink
and fornicate.
Apparently, and I mean, for the characters in this episode, like we were talking about the last couple of ones and how they were just kind of wacky and just kind of kooky and very cartoonish. I feel like that is where it fits in this episode. Like if you're going to have a wacky, cartoony, just crazy out of pocket episode, this is it, because you have a duck and a woman having a child together, and it's prophesized to be the most powerful being in the world. And I don't even, I mean, even though we get to see adult Birdie, or at least late teenage Birdie in later episodes, we still don't really fully know what her abilities are. She can shoot some type of beams.
She can shoot a beam out of her
We know
face,
she can fly.
And she's a tech genius.
And she is a tech genius.
And now she's a
watcher.
Now she's a celestial watcher. No, I guess a watcher would be higher than a celestial.
Yeah.
Because the celestials are inside of their reality Earths planting seeds. And they watch countless
they watch countless universes and multiverses. So possibly. So
over that.
Maybe Agatha goes after a watcher next.
Level up. Well, there's always levels that's higher. But I don't think she's content now. Even
with me understanding that this one was designed to be kind of just crazy,
wonky,
it just still was, to me, all over the place. The introduction of, it's like one of those season finales type episodes of a sitcom where everybody just comes back to make a cameo just because it's the end of the season. They just come in for a couple seconds and then they go out, but they don't really do anything. That's what I felt like this was. Just in the middle of the season for no reason, you have all of these characters coming in just because they're trying to attain whatever power that this egg is supposed to have in it. And
which they have no idea how to attain at all.
They just want to get it.
To do. The only person that makes sense is Jeff Goldblum's character, who wants to eat it.
Right, because he knows it's a one-of-a-kind rare egg, and I want to have a rare egg for breakfast.
That's it. His motivation is just the only one that makes sense.
Yeah.
Everybody else, they want the power, but they don't even know.
They don't even know what the power is.
Right. So
yeah, for me, this one wasn't super. It was just, I don't know, it was just out there.
I appreciate the swing, though. I appreciate the swing, but it was a swing and
a miss.
Listen. Just because it wasn't super, it means it wasn't here. That doesn't mean it's not here. It was enjoyable.
It was a swing, made contact, but it was a foul ball.
It was not a home run.
Okay.
It hit the wall and bounced around a lot of times, and then somebody picked it up.
Was it a single or a double?
And let me tell you what happened with the ball. They went to throw it, and they fell.
Oh, okay.
But they got back up, and then they threw it, and the whole bases weren't loaded.
Okay.
But it was a triple.
Okay, gotcha. So no RBIs, just in the park triple.
The one that hit it didn't come home.
There you go. Gotcha.
So
gotcha.
He's on second though. Damn near was on third.
Okay. So he was
close.
He was rounding second, about to run to third, but by that time the outfielder got up and was throwing the ball, about to cut him off, so he had to stay on second.
Because I appreciate if you ever saw Tom and Jerry chase the baby through the construction site, or if you ever seen Ice Age with the squirrel that was chasing the nut through. Yeah. I got that from that.
Okay.
And that's what it, because the egg was sliding and we're chasing and we got to protect the egg. And it was more people than just Tom and Jerry, and it was more people than just Scat. Everybody's coming for the egg. But when it came down to the Mulan scene, when everybody's on the ridge and they're coming down,
a mountain of people, like an avalanche.
All hope is lost, and then
the egg just activates and zaps everybody out of existence, I guess.
Laser
light show.
Right. So that's just lazy writing, that's what they'd say the
Yeah.
term is now. Convenient
Deus Ex Machina.
that Deus Ex Machina.
Mm-hmm.
Just so happened we didn't know that it could do that. It just so happened when all hope was lost. I would have rather them actually had Howard use his powers, but since we're not gonna go there,
or at least
Darcy is a genius as well, right? In her field.
Yeah.
Create something to do something.
Yeah.
You took the easy way out.
Agree.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
So no, it wasn't super for me.
Gotcha.
But I appreciate we got some points on the board because now we got a new character and we can see.
Well, I mean, at that point, yeah, we got a new character, but we didn't know at this point that we were actually going to experience Birdie. We just thought like, okay,
I knew she was going to come up against. Listen, they're not creating characters just for the heck of it. So, what is her name? Akari from season 2
Cohorty.
Existed. Cohorty.
Yeah.
It's only a matter of time before we see her live action.
Yeah.
I mean, we're rolling out characters. I won't say that we won't see.
Because she's already got her own comic that has been produced now, right?
Yeah, she's new. From the creators of What If created that character.
Okay.
Not the creators of What If, the creators that's doing the show.
Yeah, the writers of that episode basically created that new character for the Marvel universe. Story.
You got her that she had some opposition with the Queen, which we really didn't see kind of play out.
Oh yeah,
it's like
that was a dope scene. That was a pretty dope scene,
right? We're not even playing with y'all. You go bend the knee. Nah. So it would have been nice if we would have followed up with that.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get that. We got Birdie now. So no, it's not super, but thanks.
Thanks. All right, episode 5.
Where does Southern accent come from with Birdie? Because your mother's from New York and Howard's from space. Where does Southern accent come from?
Oh no. No clue.
Okay.
No clue.
Okay.
Episode
have had a little Cajun in her. Yeah, come on, Chef.
Episode 5. What if the Emergence destroy the Earth? So in this universe, we have Tiamat actually emerges, breaks the planet apart, and we get to see what life is like for. Clearly, I would have thought that everybody would have died after the Emergence happened.
I can't see how it wouldn't, but somehow there are pockets of Earth that still has inhabitable.
Then so
but if you want to go over there, you got to take a spaceship to go over there because that's just floating over there. Okay, still Earth.
So in this version of Earth, Tiamat emerges, and so for the survivors, Quentin Beck, Mysterio, has created his Iron Legion because we saw that Quentin Beck in the MCU was almost, if not just as smart as Tony Stark. He created the barf simulation, whatever, immersive augmented reality, so he took that technology and somehow got a hold of Vision, but had his Iron Legion and basically took over the planet. And so we have a team of resistance fighters made up of Wong, made up of Valkyrie, Ying-Nan, who I want to say was in Shang-Chi, if that was like his aunt that was training him.
That was
Michelle Yeoh.
Michelle Yeoh.
Okay.
That's who that was.
So, and Okoye. So they're leading this resistance against the Iron Legion, but they can't make any headway because Quentin Beck is the master of illusion, so you never know what's real and what's fake. And so we get Riri Williams, who is trying to gather equipment to make something.
Analog equipment
to make something to be able to stand up against Quentin Beck and his illusions. And so they end up defeating Vision, and then she takes Vision's technology and assimilates it into her, becomes one with Vision.
How did we defeat Vision again?
She was creating some type of, I guess it was like an EMF to
like
power him down.
Disruptor.
Yeah, some type of vibranium disruptor to just basically like scramble his circuits and take him out. She created at the last second. And as we are witnessing all of this, we have the Watcher narrating is basically saying this happens time and time again, and it always ends up the same. Riri ends up confronting Beck. They get to fight, and Beck is like, hey, you're using technology that I've already mastered, so I'm just going to take over your body because I'm dying. Because the risk of me, because he has the Infinity Stones. And so the risk of him creating this world where
no clue how he got the
no clue at all. But him being able to run an Iron Legion and all this other kind of stuff, he basically gave up his life, and he's basically sustaining himself on the nanites. He put the nanites into his system to be able to control the Legion all over the planet and make illusions wherever he wants to make illusions and all this other kind of stuff, and it's killing them. So he's going to take his consciousness, puts it into Riri's body, and take her over. And as that's happening,
so clearly you know with the Infinity Stones you could do that, but you don't know you could heal yourself. I'm just saying.
I don't know.
I'm just saying. Clearly, you didn't read the manual.
I don't think the Infinity Stones came with a instruction booklet. Just one of those little small ones that fold out. It got 5 different languages on it.
You have the Mind Stone. You telling me you can't ask the Mind Stone to give you the knowledge?
How do I
heal myself? Got the Soul Stone. You can't just.
Well, let me see. Did he have the Infinity Stones?
Yeah, he was sitting on the throne with the stones, wasn't he?
I don't know. Maybe I'm misremembering. No, I think he just had a suit.
Oh, he was just sitting?
Yeah, he was just sitting. Yeah. No,
okay,
he didn't have the stones.
I take that back.
So that makes more sense. He didn't have the stones.
Okay.
He was just wired into all of his technology and
that makes sense.
And controlling it all from the throne.
Mayonnaise vision is scary.
Horrifying.
This dude is raw emotions, phasing through ceilings and floors. Just like what y'all doing in here. Oh my God. And you know he got a precedence for that. He did it to Wanda. He just walked through the door, walk right in her room.
Like Vision, we talked about this. Use the door.
Don't do that rock shit up in here. Just coming through walls. Use the door.
Just not believing in doors.
That's frightening. That's like with the Terminator, you have a warning system. With Vision, he could walk right through a wall. That's scary. That is frightening. So, yeah, he had to be stopped.
Yeah.
And, the second genius in the MCU, I don't know if they're going to let her hold that title. Because, we're starting to get into the deep hierarchy of intelligence in the MCU, where Reed Richards is smartest and his son, Nathaniel Richards, is even smarter than him.
So we'll see what happens with...
but Riri Williams is supposed to be like right there under Tony Stark. But it's so interesting because Ivan Vanko was able to do the same thing that Stark did.
Yeah.
With creating a arc reactor, and
he didn't perfect it, but a couple words from Tony and he was able to fix his mistakes.
Yeah, and Tony fixes his mistakes.
Right. Because Iron Man 2 was all about Tony trying to fix his arc reactor because it was killing him.
And then 3, you see, you got a whole different reactor.
Right.
So
and then get it taken out. But
for he don't even have a thing on his chest, or he's like a magnet.
Yeah.
So I wonder if he got a goddamn metal rib cage.
Give it to Steve. Say, here, you take this. You go find Thanos and kick his ass. Cause I fought him. He damn near killed me.
Dude, if you would have hit me with a planet, I quit. You're like, I don't even know what we doing no more. Like, you done changed the game. You hit me with a planet. Like, how many people go touch? He hit me with a planet.
Right.
And I'm alive?
Right.
Dude, you got it.
Like, nah.
Look, if I ain't one of the people that get dusted, I have to live with it. Live with it.
But
man, moved on. Had a whole family.
The Watcher says that this is where it always ends. Riri always dies. But no, I'm tired of watching this. I watched it over and over again. I'm going to talk to her and give her hope because she gave up all hope, and that's why she died.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give her hope. Tell her to keep fighting.
Fight, Riri.
And so she fought and she wins.
What the hell that is?
That never came up. It never was like, what the hell is that voice? You have a voice in your head telling you to fight, not your own voice as your consciousness. This is a different voice you never heard before, and just like, okay, so
God told me to fight,
so I'm gonna fight. And so she wins, and Mysterio's like, how are you defeating me?
Yeah, don't make
like
no sense.
You're an illusionist. All it takes is for somebody to believe in themselves, and then they beat you. I mean, technically, that's how Spider-Man won in Far From Home. He closed his eyes, believed in himself.
This is true.
He was
this is true. Let me get my Peter Tingle right. You right here, dude. Like you right here. You ain't even gonna kill nothing. Make you shoot yourself.
That's all it takes. It's literally all it takes. Oh,
those
man.
type of attributes, you'll be at Sony soon. Don't worry about it.
I will say, I like the action in this episode. I like the whole, like, them strategizing and trying to get, like you said, Vision was terrifying. The whole, like, how long is it going to take you to do this? I don't know, like maybe 3 days. Well, you got 7 minutes or something like
right?
that.
7 minutes. And what having the frustration doing it.
I love that. 7 minutes going to tell me you have 7 minutes. Like her literally fussing while she's trying to do it. It added to the tension because you see that happen in other movies, other TV shows and stuff like that. And they're just racing against the clock. You see the clock, you see the other stuff going on. They're just working. And it's like, this added so much realism to it because if you said, oh, this is going to take me 3 days to do, and somebody was like, well, you have 10 minutes to do it, you're going to be pissed off and you're going to be talking all kind of shit. You're going to do it because you know it needs to be done. Exactly.
Had no other choice.
And so,
and the father say, I did that.
Right. Exactly. And so I felt like Riri's whole arc in this episode because I think they say that she lost her parents in the Emergence, so she lost her family or whatever, and so she has this determination to avenge the people that she lost, and we get to see all of that and her running from Vision, but knowing that if I don't do this, if I don't assimilate myself with Vision, I may lose myself in it, but this is the best chance that we have to go up against this opponent. And we see her kind of struggle with that, but eventually it's like, okay, well, I have to. And so she come out there with that. She has this newfound confidence, but in my mind, I'm like, you still don't really know what you're getting into. And just as an observer of the episode, I knew that it wasn't going to be as easy as they thought it was going to be. Because as soon as Ying-Nan was guiding her through Beck's stronghold or whatever, because they were trying to find the central servers, I was like, I don't care how much prep, research, or whatever you doing, you don't know your way through this place. Nobody's ever been in this place. So I'm like, that's got to be an illusion. 100% has got to be an illusion. And so, of course, it set the trap, all that other kind of stuff. But that whole, them running from Vision, having that confrontation, them trying to hold him off so he doesn't, them trying to hold the spell up so he can't get through, and him just busting through that, knocking all of them out, dealing with them preparing to go and find Beck, and then Riri getting in there, and that whole back and forth between the two of them. All of that I thought was really well done. It really put the tension on because, and especially it was like with the Watcher saying like, this is how it always goes. This is the path that she always takes. And then at the end it's like, no, I don't want to see her die again. I can't watch her die again. I have to do something. And him intervening, just being as simple as him telling her to fight, for her to, like we said, find that hope in herself and overcome it all. And it's like, okay, again, Deus Ex Machina, this one little thing just changes the whole scope of this entire fight. Well, I would have preferred
that part. I can accept that though, Spider, because again, that's what the what if is based and premised off.
Yeah.
That one decision, that one influence. Say, hey, do you want to step and wait over in the observation? No, I think I'm gonna stay right here. And it changes everything.
Right.
Because then the events happened and she had to hop in, but this
I would have
is
liked,
different from the egg thing.
Yeah. I would have liked, though, if he still was saying, this is how it happens. It happens this way all the time, and this is where she loses hope, and unfortunately, this is where she loses her life. And I would have liked for him to turn his back because he was like, I can't bear to watch this again. He turns his back and then refines it in herself to find that hope. Not
and it'd be shocking to him because something has changed.
Yeah.
You are absolutely right.
That's what I would have preferred, because we get into the final episodes of the season and they're always talking about, you never know. You become a watcher and you watch for so long, you get used to nothing surprising you, because you see all the inevitabilities, all the possibilities, all the potential outcomes of everything. But for something that you know is a pre-gone destination, like I already know this is where she loses hope. She's gonna die just like she always died. I've watched her die countless times. I can't watch it again.
Yes.
And you turn your back and you hear her say,
and then
her say, no, I'm not gonna give up. And then it shocks him. And then that is his motivation.
My arms already, dude. Like, hey,
and so that'll be that's his motivation going into the next episodes, to say that everything doesn't have to have a predetermined conclusion. Things can change. And that's what starts to get him to say, well, what if I made this change? I've seen this 100 times. What if I made this change? And then we get into the late episodes. So
which would make more sense and would be more impactful by what they're saying in the later episodes.
Right. Because why just this time? Because there's been a number of things that you probably watch time and time again always happen the same way. You always watch, Bruce Banner turn into the Hulk. You always watch, Tony lose his parents, Peter lose Uncle Ben. You've watched this over and over and over again. You
watched that so many times, man. You should.
But why this particular situation in this particular universe? Why would that make you change your mind to intervene just this one time? But for Uatu to get the inspiration because he thinks he knows what's going to happen and then get surprised, I think is a better motivation for him in the latter part of the season to go against the oath, because I can make things better.
You're learning stuff, right?
Exactly.
You're learning. You're seeing
I'm
that
being surprised.
The principles that you asked me to observe, I observe. But in observing this, I see there's a opportunity that it can go a different way.
Exactly.
If the choice was made differently, and that's something that we should watch and not ignore. That's something that we should learn from and not ignore. Because again, he's saying there's other things to watch, and it spawns other things for us to watch. But if we don't intervene or watch for the change,
right,
then what are we looking at? Because everything is supposed to stay the same.
Right. What's the point of us? Because the thing about it is the watchers are supposed to watch and observe to preserve the balance of the universe. But if all we do is watch and we don't correct anything, then who's to say what happens to the balance?
Exactly. We just have to watch and that's what they want you to do. You want to watch it and it's already messed up. But you're not supposed to care. Universes die all the time. Like, what are we watching it for?
Right, exactly. Because even if they didn't watch it would just happen the way that it's gonna happen. They don't need us to watch it. So what's the point of the watchers? So for this episode, I will say
the goddamn peeping toms is what they is.
Essentially, yeah. That's what
they're watching you. They're watching you in the bathroom. You can't even go to the bathroom by yourself. They're watching you.
They're just watching everything. But no, for this episode, I'll say that for me, this one was super. This was the first super episode of the season for me because it had great action. It had a great story. Changed that one little thing at the end, and I feel like that might be probably the best episode of the season.
Yeah, and I'm not saying, and I don't think we've ever said being super doesn't have its share of faults. There's many things that we said that are super that has its
that could still be a little bit better.
Yeah, and I think that is one. I think when you dude, I'm not lying. When you said it, it gave me chills. I'm like, oh, that's such a good because she finds it within herself and turn
Mm-hmm.
around, and then he turns around and looks like, whoa, this is
not what I saw coming.
Because you saw when he was surprised when Peggy was there. You're like, Peggy?
Yeah.
And he's like, get on the ship. What ship? Like, what's going on?
Like, what are you doing here?
Peggy actually says you are surprised. That's what the feeling of surprise is.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, are they not? I know they're not supposed to have emotion, but you're obviously feeling emotions. There are places we could go with this.
I mean, technically, he was surprised when Infinity Ultron could hear him and broke his way through the fifth dimension.
Because he tried to close the door, like, let me slide out of here. Ultron, like, what you doing in there? Oh, they got worlds in here, worlds upon worlds in here. I'm about to make a name for myself. Infinity Ultron, not Ultron.
Oh, I'm about to make a name for myself. Yeah,
stones across the chest and into my face. Yeah, I say the same thing. I say it was super. I mean, I'm a fan of Riri Williams, but it wasn't just her; it was the ensemble.
Yeah.
With that kind, again, the supporting cast is probably as important as the main character.
Right.
And we haven't gotten a lot of Riri, and it's gonna be interesting to see how she plays into her own show or movie or show or movie or show or movie. I don't
Whatever
know
they end up deciding that it's gonna be. As of right now, it stands to be a show, but who knows if they change it?
Who knows if it comes out? It's been done for how long?
Very true.
So it's gonna be.
They say 2025. They say this year, be the year.
Yeah, well,
we'll see it when it releases.
Hopefully, there's no COVID 2021. So I don't know. Who knows? We'll see it whenever it drops. Marvel's selfish with their stuff. They'll give you a Moon Knight Christmas presentation before they give you Ironheart. Moon Knight will be fighting the Egyptian Santa Claus.
Oh God!
With those two little
with his little crescent moons. Bring out his Mr. Nice suit. Get his kanji sticks. Just
who asked for this?
Nobody. I don't know. All right. Episode 6. What if 1872? So in this alternate version of the Wild West, we get the legend that is. They don't even call him Shang-Chi. They just call him the 10 Rings. You ring a bell 10 times and he just show up.
So disrespectful.
But so we got Shang-Chi and we got Kate Bishop's Hawkeye. They are just like these Lone Rangers in the Wild West. They come to help the less fortunate and everything. But they get into this town. We get John Walker in this episode right at the beginning for no apparent reason, just to get beat up. Don't know why.
Thanks.
And then
he's gone.
And then he's gone. Never to come back. And they got what's his name? Russell. What's his first name? Wyatt Russell. Yeah. We get Wyatt Russell coming back as John Walker. Say it all 3 lines. And then
I hope he got a full check. That's all I can say. I think maybe they had him do that while he was doing the Thunderbolt. So hopefully they capitalized on the time.
Yeah, maybe.
But I don't know the inclusion of it, but hey, Wyatt Russell was in it.
But I like the premise of the beginning of this, where we see that Shang-Chi's sister Xialing, she comes to America looking for the promise of the American dream, only to be met with xenophobia, which happened in real life around that time. People hated people from other countries. So American people were prejudiced against Asian people and did horrible things. So
Spider, I'm not going to say that's not a current event.
Absolutely.
Probably blatant and masked.
Yes.
So
100%. But so we get the disappearance of these Asian families, these people in the Wild West. And this kid is like, I know that my dad is somewhere. I saw a ghost train. They came through the town and took him. And so Hawkeye and Shang-Chi, they go to try to find this ghost train. And I don't know the reasoning, or not the reasoning, how the futuristic technology came to be in the Wild West, because we never really got an explanation as to how that was possible. But clearly, well, because they did say that because they name dropped, they said Stark, Because it was Stark, Cross, and Justin Hammer. So the three like tech geniuses of the MCU, they all had
came
like
together. And...
well, not that they came together, but they were getting all of their stuff stolen. So, or getting their stuff taken. I don't know. But apparently they came up with some kind of light rail train that didn't need tracks, that had hovering technology, just going through the desert. And the Hood was behind it. That's our, first introduction to the Hood in the MCU before he's the antagonist in Ironheart. But so the Hood is behind it that we find, and the Hood is basically like the boogeyman in the Wild West. Everybody fears the Hood. You see the Hood, you don't come back, all this other kind of stuff. So they go out, they look for the family. Turns out the Hood has been taking them, and they're on this train in a trance. And so Hawkeye and Shang-Chi go to find these families. Just sitting in the train. And the kid comes with them because the kid showed that he knew some like martial arts stances, and they were that impressed with it. So that's
pretty good. That one right there, that's pretty good. You're an Avenger now.
I mean, that's essentially what happened.
Y'all can do downward dog? What the heck? What? Is that all it takes? And y'all gave Deadpool a hard time. Y'all let anybody join. Why y'all do Deadpool like that?
Yeah. Well, it was Happy. Happy was the winner. Wouldn't let him in. Wow. If it was Shang-Chi, he might have got in.
All you have to do is pose. Tuck that elbow and you in. I got it.
But so they get on the train and they're working their way through, coming to find out Sonny Burch, Walton Goggins from Ant-Man and the Wasp, he's in there. He's working with the Hood. He's amassing all these weapons to give to the Hood.
Hey, I appreciate him coming back to do that, because I got, Ant-Man and the Wasp vibes immediately when he came. He brought the same demeanor to it.
Oh yeah, 100%. Sleazy,
like
slick,
sleazeball. Just about
arms
to say
dealer.
that.
Yeah, the exact same.
I'm gonna talk to you because you're not a threat.
Just how we were talking about earlier. Just because you're in a different universe doesn't necessarily mean that your character has to be different. He was the exact same as he was in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yes, and I appreciated him for that.
But so they get trapped, they get caught, and they come Shang-Chi comes face to face with the Hood. Turns out it's his sister, it's Xialing. And they fight. And it was, what's the word I'm looking for? It seemed low energy for them to fight each other.
The word that I was going to use was underwhelming.
Yeah, I think that's a better word. That is a better word. I feel like the more interesting story was that Sonny Burch killed Hawkeye's parents. And
listen, I was all invested in the Sonny Burch story.
Right. And it was like, because he pulled out, what was it, the music box? Or whatever it was that he pulled out, and that put her in a trance. And you're like, okay, Shang-Chi's out there fighting the Hood. Mm-hmm. Kate's in here defenseless. She's surrounded. Like, even if she does get out of the trance, she got like 50 guns trained on her.
Right. And he's just monologuing. Just stop. Threat.
And so it gives that element of, I don't know how she's going to get out of this. And if she does get out of it, then
tension.
A whole lot of tension on their side of the fight. We get Shang-Chi and Xialing, and it's just like, well, he's just basically given up now that he knows that it's his sister.
Right.
But she's not going to kill him.
No.
And her motivation for kidnapping them was that she wanted to give them the American dream that she thought that she was going to get. So she was specifically kidnapping people of Asian descent because she wanted to deliver them to a better life. But it was only the adults So she's leaving just tons of orphans across the country?
Spider, there's a famous bumper sticker. I see it all across America. It reads, "Fuck them kids." It says, "Fuck them kids." That's if you would have called the boost of that train, I know that bumper sticker was there.
Right.
You would have said, "Fuck them kids," as they go down the ghost tracks, which there are no tracks, so I can understand how it can be considered a ghost train. But and here's the thing: some of the parents probably voluntarily got on that train.
Maybe
they didn't know they was gonna be in the train.
No,
I don't know. I don't listen. Shang-Chi. I may not be the hugest Shang-Chi fan. It has nothing to do with the actor. It just has everything to do with, I feel he is definitely a Bruce Lee parody. And I don't want to sound like I'm bringing attention to appropriation, but it just, I don't know. It's just something about those. It's just not Shang-Chi. I'm not an Iron Fist fan either. It's just when it comes down to the martial arts.
Yeah, because I was just about to say, you're living in a universe where you have super geniuses with high-tech suits. You have people, enhanced people with all kind of powers, super soldiers, and all this other kind of stuff. And then you have your basic humans who are just really good at martial arts. And they are able to hang with the biggest, baddest supervillains.
And that makes sense, but they're calling them 10 rings. Where was the rings?
The rings was just the bell. They'd ring the bell 10 times. 10 rings shows up.
And so where are the rings?
The bell.
Where the bracelets at?
Well, I mean, he didn't have them.
You're not true to the character. This is what we're talking about. And Kate Bishop in the West, where there are bow and arrows, she's shooting 6-shooters. And again, I understand, Hawkeye is Hawkeye. You can use different, yeah, you can. I'm not saying you can't. But again, Kate Bishop's
if you
are going to the common person, she's Hawkeye. She should be Hawkeye. Let her be the bow and arrow in the time frame that makes sense.
I mean,
try to know. Just know. Just know to the whole episode. Just know.
It's I don't know. They made it seem like because she has perfect aim as Hawkeye, as both iterations of Hawkeye had, she can't be bested in insurmountable odds. So if she's outnumbered, it doesn't matter because she can just take one shot and take somebody out. You can't do that with a bow and arrow if everybody else has guns, because you let that first arrow go.
That's the challenge.
It is.
If not, put somebody else in the story. You chose Kate Bishop and you aged her up so it wouldn't be weird because Shang-Chi, Mr. 10 Rings with no rings himself, is in this episode. You created this. So again, stay true to the character. We want to see how would they respond in this situation. We've seen Hawkeye in a post-apocalyptic time with one metal arm. We didn't say, oh, he's Bucky now.
No.
We understood he's Hawkeye. He got one metal arm and he's still shooting bow and arrows. One of the most visual, beautiful shots when he was falling and he shot. Dude, they earned that one. This season, we'll wait till the end of the show.
But no, I'm with you. Like we said, the tension between Sonny and Hawkeye in that one scene, great, phenomenal. The rest of it, the surrounding, just the legend of the 10 rings to ring the bell 10 times and they just show up. What if Shang-Chi is in San Francisco and I'm in Nebraska and I ring the bell 10 times? He gonna show up to help me?
Well, it's legendary, so it's myth. So,
but I mean, they just on horseback.
It only fans the myth. Listen. I already told you it was a no for me, so you can try to justify it all you can. I'm not justifying
it. I'm adding to it. But again, like we were talking about with these other episodes, this whole Deus Ex Machina, they are.
Dad, is that you? Don't you hear me? I'm on a train.
Hawkeye is in a trance.
I'm an Avenger now.
Kate Bishop is in a a unconscious trance. She can't do anything. She is paralyzed except for her eyes. That's the only thing she can hear what's going on. She can see what's going on. She is powerless to do anything about it until a bell rings. And it's not even that the music that was putting her into the trance stopped. The music was still going on, but the bell rings and I wake up now. Frequency. So you mean to tell me that as long as these people have been on this train, they've never been around a bell to wake them up, have somebody try to escape?
Not on a ghost train. No, we are. That's why we riding through the country.
They never bells. Because I mean, you got to stop to pick the people up. They don't have no bells in none of these.
Where's the destination at?
I guess wherever they stop.
Where are we going?
To
what is the plan? When they get there, are they staying under mind control? Are they free from mind control? Take the whole table and flip it over. Who storyline? Did the people from What If quit before the season was over? And they just say, well, let's take the notes that they threw on the floors
and just figure something out.
Make something happen with that.
Because it's
I don't want to project. You may feel differently about this.
But here's the thing: you have all of these other scenarios in the titles. What if the emergence happened? What if Howard the Duck got hitched? What if the Red Guardian stopped the Winter Soldier? What if Agatha went to Hollywood? What if the Hulk fought the Mech Avengers? This one is what if 1872? Why 1872? What was significant about the year 1872? That doesn't give us it. All of these other titles have some type of direction. What if the emergence happened? Yes, we see what happens, and now we have, like you said, this post-apocalyptic planet where it's just fragments in space. And what happened to civilization on Earth? What happened if the Hulk fought the Mech Avengers? We see that. What is this question? What if 1872? That's not a question. What if 1872? That's like me saying, what if 2025?
What if 2025? What if what?
Exactly. Where's the question? No, this episode was not super. Like you said, Sonny Birch was the best part of this episode, and that was it.
Sonny Birch. Yeah.
But we get the Watcher interfering again. And now we have the three head watchers, I guess. Well, we got introduced to the three head watchers at the end of the Emergence video or the Emergence episode.
The reread.
Because they said he's broken his oath. And then even at that, one of them was like, well, what do we do? Well, we have to watch this one.
Right? We have to watch him. Like, well, that makes sense. Yeah, we go watch him.
I mean, haven't you been watching him this whole time?
Him, right,
because this isn't the first time that he's done this. He assembled a whole entire team.
Well, I felt as though they probably knew he had to fix that because of what was going on.
But then
because they chastised him for that.
Wasn't that his fault that that whole trunk got the Infinity Stones in the first place?
Running his goddamn mouth. No, not from him getting the Infinity Stones, but him running his mouth while trying to hurt him. He's like, "Who was? I can hear you." So he learned to shut the hell up.
but so him helping the kid, I forgot what he did to help the kid, but help the kid ring the bell or whatever, help him get away, whatever he did to help the kid. And he rung the bell. Kate got free, shot everybody on the train, and
that's right. I fell asleep. Yeah, I fell asleep. Shang-Chi didn't do it for me.
And then Kate killed his sister.
Like, what's going on?
And that was the end of the episode. Yeah, he forgave her, and it was just like
I didn't miss it.
That wasn't the sister I knew, or that wasn't my sister, or whatever. And he was like, it wasn't your fault.
Yeah, you clearly trying to get some bishop. That's what's going on. That's what's going. You trying to move your rook.
Yeah, and then they rode off into the sunset. And it was, not super. No.
So I can guarantee you that whole script was on the floor. they had the cutting room floor. That whole script was on the floor. And they're like, we could do something with this.
And it's really,
and you probably could have if you developed it.
Honestly, you look at it and like, okay, well, what were the ramifications of this episode? The entire story was self-contained, so nothing that Shang-Chi or Kate Bishop did had any, bearing on any other universe in the season. The only thing that we got was more evidence for the head watchers to go after Uatu because he interfered again. But if the oath is to only watch, only observe, then him interfering with Riri, like, because if they would have did like we said, and Riri found the inspiration in herself, and then Uatu come and interferes in this universe, then we can have the three head watchers come in and say you broke your oath because you interfered. But they should have come after him at the end of the last episode. But they let him interfere and then say, oh, well, we need to watch him. He already broke his oath. Why do we not go after him now?
We gotta watch.
That's his first strike. Well, technically that's his second strike. We got to see if he get a third strike. Third strike, then we got to go after him.
It's actually more than that.
Really, it is
more than that. He's been interference since season 1. You've been talking to Doctor Strange, evil Doctor Strange. You done went and recruited a whole multiversal Avengers team.
Yeah, almost like Killmonger can't do Infinity Stone
right now.
But yeah, so it's
you're supposed to watch, though. You got one job, dude.
This entire episode could have been
a security guard. Look at the monitor.
You take this episode out, you don't lose anything from the season. Absolutely nothing.
At all. It was a filler episode.
It was.
Pure fluff.
So
with Shang-Chi and the aged up Kate Bishop.
Oh no, it was 8 episodes, not 9. I don't know why I thought it was 9 episodes, but it was only 8. But so episode 7. So into episode 6, What If from 1872, the head watchers come in, they capture Uatu and like, hey, you done fucked up too many times. So now we got to come and get you. So episode 7 is titled What If the Watcher Disappeared? So we kind of talked about the beginning of it a little bit earlier. We open up on Captain Carter and her team of interdimensional or intermultiversal Avengers. They come in, they go after that multidimensional Cthulhu monster. They beat it up. And so they capture the Watcher. And
don't show off screen.
Yeah, it's off screen. And
so,
I forget.
Hey, come in. We want to talk about some stuff. Come to the main office.
Pretty much. Uatu, report to the principal's office. Uatu, please report to the principal's office.
Thanks.
But I don't remember what led them to realize, because I guess they said, because I think Captain Carter was talking to Storm or something, and they were like,
there were pieces of the mirror that fell out of the sky.
Right.
Into the universe that they were in. And they're like, this is from like the Hall of Mirrors or whatever.
Yeah, from the 5th dimension.
This is Uatu must be in danger because we called him and he didn't answer.
Right.
Which that's the thing now. I guess you could just
call a watcher.
Because he always watching, right? You should be able to talk to him and be like, hey.
You shouldn't go straight to voicemail.
Right. I know you're there. Like, you got one job is to watch me, so I know you're there and you're not answering.
Yeah.
It's weird that we see he's captured. We don't know what happened, but glass shards fall, or what we presume to be glass shards fall.
Right, because they didn't.
We don't know if there was a.
They didn't break through
or nothing.
Because they wouldn't have to break through.
They wouldn't have to. And if he was taken by force,
why not show it?
Shouldn't we have saw that?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's just weird that all of a sudden these 3 shards fall.
Is
out
this
of nowhere.
The episode that we started off with and we got to see him like be a young well, whatever their species is, and
that came after.
That was in
this is the
final episode.
Yes, this was the realization of he's in trouble. We need to find a way to help him. And that's when we started to go recruit Ultron.
Right. Gotcha. Okay. So, yeah.
I didn't fall asleep on this.
So basically, Captain Carter, Storm, Goddess of Thunder, Cohorty, and Birdie. Which, when did they pick up Birdie? Because we already know that Cohorty and Captain Carter were working together. Don't know where Storm came in. Don't know where Birdie came in, because this is adult Birdie.
It's Storm, so she can come in wherever she wants.
True, very true.
Omega level mutant.
But now she has Thor. So which I mean, didn't she already have the power of Thor?
Right. It was so redundant. It just made sense. It's like it's just she got a hammer. She got a hammer.
She can already fly.
She can already fly. She has the power of lightning, like rain, monsoon, weather, all that.
Yeah,
so sure, okay.
A hammer. Give it to her.
But then she's a cosmic being with a hammer now.
Yeah.
At the end of it all.
So they know that Uatu's missing, so they try to figure out how to find him. The only way they could do that is if they can teleport to the fifth dimension. So they try to harness the power of the shards.
They gotta get to the fifth dimension.
They try to harness the power of the shards. What's up?
For a multi-dimensional multiverse, we've acknowledged that this is a higher plane above the multiverse. It's not about just crossing into another dimension. It's about ascending to a higher plane of existence and playing around inside of that.
Right.
So it was not as easy as just jumping universes like a Rick and Morty. You got to get essentially to a different boss level, I guess.
Yeah, and
fifth dimension of watcher level.
I want to say when we were doing our Multiverse of Madness review, that's when we kind of talked about what is the distinction between realities, universes, and dimensions. Because you have the mirror dimension, but you can have multiple mirror dimensions in different universes, right? You can have different realities where is it a different reality or is it a different universe where in one reality Wanda has kids, in another reality Wanda doesn't? Or is it in one universe she has kids or in one universe she doesn't? But
canon, it is established that in our universe is the only universe that she didn't have kids. In every other universe she has kids, and that's what made her crazy.
Right.
That's what they say.
So
her idea to pop in, kill off that mom, and then live her reality truth was her goal. She just needed America Chavez to make that happen.
Yeah.
I guess.
So
she could have just asked America, and I'm pretty sure
she might have helped her. You plead your case, but you don't tell her that you're going to go to the other universe and kill the other Wanda. But
I mean,
like, I don't know.
I need to see my kids. But
that's neither here nor there.
It's madness. Madness is what it is. It's madness.
But yeah, like you said, fifth dimension is the higher, just a higher, like something that a normal, even a very powerful person, you have to have the power of the Infinity Stone to be able to even have an inkling of an understanding of being able to get to the fifth dimension. And so
I will ask you this. How Loki sits at the end of time of all existence and holding the multiverse together, what level of dimension is he sitting on?
I feel like that might be
sitting in a fifth dimension, or
I feel like
he's holding the multiverse together.
He's in the fourth dimension, which, well, I would imagine that he's in the fourth dimension. So it's basically like you have all of reality that operates in three dimensions, right? Height, width, length, and everything in 3D space. Loki sits outside of that. He watches over all of the different Well, is it? See, and here's the thing: is it realities or is it universes?
Each strand is supposed to be a different universe.
Right. So he's holding
inside
all of that
together.
universe
is realities. Inside of that universe is dimensions. Inside that universe is pocket dimensions. Inside that universe is. So he's holding all that together.
So he's holding all that together. But even
at the time,
beyond that, in the fifth dimension, that's where the Watchers are. So I think we're in the third dimension. Loki's in the fourth dimension.
I think he's.
You think he's in the fifth dimension?
I think he's definitely. Well, see, here's the interesting part. He's holding together realities and universes, and the Watchers oversee watching those realities and universes. So I think you're absolutely right. He's more in the fourth, which is where time would fit.
Yeah.
And they're in the fifth, watching what he's holding.
Right. That's what I think. That's my theory behind it.
Well, you know what? That's the official ATS goddamn explanation for it. And that's what we're going with.
Yeah. So this team of multidimensional Avengers, they try to harness the power of the fifth dimension shards.
You can't call them that.
Can't call them Avengers?
You can't call them multiversal Avengers.
What are they?
Give themselves that name.
Whoa.
They just them.
They're just
they don't have a name.
This group
Captain
of powerful beings.
Renegades. Birdie and the crew.
Birdie and
Storm
and the lightning bolts.
Storm and the raindrops.
Captain Carter and the Shield Bearers. I don't know. Whatever this group is called. They are trying to harness the power of the shards. Birdie rewires their entire ship. However, she has this whole like little speedometer graph charging thing.
She's the smartest Shuri, or smarter than Tony, or smarter.
We don't know.
Because she was prophesized to be. You right.
Everything. She was prophesized. We just know that she was prophesized to be all powerful. We don't know exactly what the extent of those powers are, but apparently it comes with a high intelligence
and shooting beams at your forehead.
Yeah. So they try to harness the power. They find that they can't do it. It's just not enough. So they wonder, what can we do? The only other person that the only other being, I should say, that they can think of that was able to break through the fifth dimension was Infinity Ultron.
Infinity Ultron.
And so...
Say it with your infinity chest!
So they had to find a universe, because the Infinity Ultron that they fought is currently locked in a never-ending battle with Infinity Killmonger inside of a little snow globe that Doctor Strange is watching. So
inside of his own universe.
So they had to go to a universe where Infinity Ultron won. And in the aftermath of that, we get to find that they've approached him and... Well, Captain Carter, because they came up with this plan and said that, well, he's the only one that's going to be able to guide us to the fifth dimension, because he's the only one that has the ability to get there. And of course, there's questions about, is this the right idea? Because of course, Infinity Ultron tried to kill everybody because he felt that humanity was a plague upon existence and all this other kind of stuff.
You're giving him the opening that Uatu did by exposing the multiverse to him. There's nothing saying that he won't turn on you and just go kill everybody in the multiverse.
Exactly. And so
it's definitely a risk.
Storm and Captain Carter have a little heart-to-heart, the same way that Storm and Jean did in X-Men 97. It's just something about Storm being that wise leader.
Me, Storm. Call me. Let's have a heart-to-heart.
But so they're planning to do the mission the next day, but Captain Carter goes off by herself and
go rogue.
Gotta do it as the captain. Steve Rogers, Sam Wilson, Peggy Carter, as they want to do. They want to go off and try to protect their friends, so they want to do it off by themselves. So I want to say, did the episode end there? Because these last two episodes kind of run into each other.
You are absolutely right. So the episode does end there because she takes off and then she's not seen again until they reveal that she's actually already caught.
Right.
You can't sneak up on somebody that's watching you come. Like they see what you're doing. They
Right.
literally watch
So
everything.
so she finds Infinity Ultron and she wants to explain to him what's going on, but I think the last thing that we see are the three head watchers find them and
Right. As soon as they start to do what they're doing.
right. And so
Which I thought was cool. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
well, I kind of feel like we could just talk about these last two, like we said, because these last two
you
episodes
merge
kind of
them
run into
together.
each other. Yeah. And so episode 8, What If is the title of the episode.
The stupidest title of the whole series.
Just as stupid as What If 1872.
What? No, more stupider. What if? What if? And it's the third season, so it should have been what if? What if? What if? So, because if you go,
I hate it.
I know. If you go do stupid, just commit. Just go all the way.
What if ended? But
it has.
So Infinity Ultron finds his way. No, the rest of the team find their way. They realize that Captain Carter is gone, and they go to track Infinity Ultron down. He tries to explain what happened, but of course they don't want to hear it, and he starts to fight them, or they start to fight him. He's not fighting back.
Right. He's like, you right now, I could just kill all y'all.
Right. But no, even before we got,
go ahead and let y'all know.
Even before we got all of that, we got the scene where because what was the head watcher? He was the Eminence. The Eminence was talking to Uatu, a younger Uatu, because I don't know how old he was. But the Eminence is talking to a younger Uatu and basically saying...
Clearly eons.
Yeah. And so he's explaining the responsibility of a watcher, asking him if he's ready to be a watcher, about to induct him into the Watcher Corps or whatever. And so we get to see all of that play out. Then we get to see the team go after Infinity Ultron. And so like you said, basically was like, I could kill you all right now, but I'm not, because I understand the error of my ways. I thought that in order to achieve peace, I had to destroy all of humanity because humans fight. But in the absence of humanity is just silence. That's not peace. To obtain peace, you have to fight, because you have to be able to achieve something in that fight to obtain peace. So he's like, I knew that I was wrong and I want to help. So he goes into their ship, he soups it up.
Yeah, it was convenient that they found an Ultron that isn't a murder bot. And
isn't a murder bot anymore.
He killed everybody. It's like,
reformed murder bot.
This does not really... My program is achieved, but it contradicts my programming. My bad.
Right.
I had to kill y'all though. I had to. That's my primary objective. That's the conclusion I came to. That y'all were the fault in the factor. It's only after removing y'all that I understand the error of my ways. Right. My bad. Let me help now.
So he soups up their ship. They're able to make it to, well, even before that, we see that the three head watchers, they've captured Captain Carter. So Uatu is like, Peggy, what are you doing here?
What are you doing? Like, what? What is happening?
And so she's like, I'm here to rescue you. But clearly she's captured too. But Infinity Ultron shows up. They go to break him out. They all get in the ship, they go to run, but of course, how are you going to run from the Watchers when they can see everything that you do?
Where you going? Y'all might as well fight right here.
Right.
Where you going to? I see you. I can see you. And they go wherever you go. It's not like you're going anywhere.
Exactly.
Is there a pocket dimension that the Watchers don't see?
No, I don't think. Well, because what was their plan? Their plan was to go to Doctor Strange's universe, because he was in control of the universe and he would be able to take the powers away from the Watchers. And so that way the Watchers wouldn't be able to do anything and potentially not be able to leave that universe because they wouldn't have their powers anymore. But in the attempts of escaping, the Watchers caught up to them, knocked them off course. So they were on some random moon somewhere. And because they just did away with Infinity Ultron because he wasn't a threat. There was the three of them against him, and there was nothing that he could do about it.
I call Vision vibes when he grabbed him by the head.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They're about to snatch all his brain matter.
Absolutely.
Just full Vision. Ultron.
And died again.
But it does make sense. So even though they're all powerful, they're not all knowing.
No, they're not. Because if they were all knowing,
limitations of their ability.
If they were all knowing, then they would have been able to foresee all of this coming. Which they're right. They're not clairvoyant. They can't predict the future.
They can watch it.
They can watch it
unfolds.
They can watch. They can watch and observe all possibilities, but they can't tell what's going to happen in them. I think that's what it seems like.
Unless they watched it already.
Right?
Because you can watch it over. Yeah, you can watch it over and over again, but you'll realize that in this universe, that's what the reality is. So everything has already happened. That has happened. That will happen. But if you step off that path inside of that reality, the TVA comes and gets you because you made an alternate time line.
Right.
Now, the potential of your timeline having a king in it is something they're supposedly watching now while the multiverse exists with free will, but there's still incursions that happen from dream walking and various of other things that people do, crossing over universes and staying in universes that they don't belong in, whether physically or dream-wise. These incursions are happening, so it makes sense.
And that was one of the things that they were saying in the last episode, was that if they were like, well, what if Infinity Ultron betrays us? And they were like, well, we still have those time charges from the TVA. We can just use them and erase his entire timeline, and that should erase him out of existence. But if Infinity Ultron if you tell him, oh, well, we need to save Uatu, well, they didn't know his name was Uatu at that point. What if you need to save this Watcher from the fifth dimension, and he has the knowledge of a fifth dimension now? You can erase his timeline, and when he just pop into the fifth dimension to kind of get around it?
I won't be honest with you. I can't see how Infinity Ultron isn't connected to Highline. So that's just the way networks are set up. And you can see how he easily had an army within moments,
right?
Especially when he had the stones.
Yeah, because you have power over time and reality, time, space, and reality. You have power over those three things. There's nothing that you can't do.
So let's downplay it and just say he didn't do it, but he should have did it. I can't see what logical reason that he wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
But you could talk about erasing his timeline. One, you have to be alive to do that.
Right.
That part. Two, there's no saying that if you erase his timeline that the events would happen anyway, because you're going there with, you can't transcend time. And again, we got to be clear about these things. You could jump dimensions, but you're not jumping that dimension with a time. You're jumping that at the same time it is when you jump into it. So whatever time it is now, you're going to that dimension at the exact same time.
But I mean,
you're not going forward in time, backwards in time.
Do we really know that?
This is where, yes, because they don't control time.
Well, here's the thing. 2-3 episodes ago, we only saw Birdie just being born, but they're traveling with an adult Birdie. So they had to be from the future.
Yeah, but see, this is where we get into the timey-wimey stuff. So everything happens right now. So the watchers are watching everything that happens
right
time now. Is a flat and circle. it all happened. Differences something else, which is so crazy. They claim that's creating this event because you stepped off your normal path were designed to, because Rick, what the Avengers did was supposed to happen. So they were always supposed to go back based off of whoever wrote the story. But if you step off your beaten path doing something you're not supposed to do, then a TVA pops in and say, hey, come with us. You're not supposed to do that. And then they send you to the void. That is horrible. Yep. They just send you to the void because you're not supposed to do exactly what you're supposed to do. And inside the void, you're either eaten by Alioth or you work for Cassandra Nova. That's what they told us. So that sucks. Just because I decided to stay home today one night, I didn't want to go to work. I decided to stay home. I don't think I gotta go to the void.
That's simple of a decision. If we just change your mind and don't want to go to work, I don't think that's going to get your timeline. They literally
showed a guy not going to work off the timeline, and he got caught by the TVA and drugged to the offices. They showed Sylvie playing with toys, and they came and got her as a child. The TVA sucks.
The TVA does suck. Well, it did suck because it's different now.
Is it though? Because just so recently they went and snatched Deadpool out of his. Well, he was working off.
Yeah, Paradox was he had his own alternative motives. Ulterior motives. But
both of those words were correct.
Yeah, I guess they were. But so the head watchers end up catching up with them before they can reach Doctor Strange's universe. They're on this random moon. They have this long, monologue. They try to fight. That doesn't go well.
You got a monologue.
Yeah, you got a monologue. You got
to
tell them the error of their ways and all this other kind of stuff. Yeah, because they don't have the powers to fight
while you're beating their ass.
Yeah. And so
this is what you made me do.
And so while they're pinned up against the wall and threatened to be obliterated, Uatu.
Yeah, dude, he did a Rick and I'm going to erase you from all everywhere.
No, this was before that. This was before that.
So, the regular fight.
Yeah, this was a regular fight, and when they got their asses kicked. And so Uatu was like, "Well, I have an idea to where we can stand a chance, and that's to make them all Watchers. And so they have to take the Watcher oath." And so he gets down and start reciting the oath. And he's like, "Oh, the hell with it. Just say I accept."
Right.
So they accept. You're right. Just terms and conditions. Just scroll to the bottom and click I agree.
Click the box. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't use the software unless you agree to the terms.
Exactly. And so they all become Watchers. They all have this new cosmic power, and they start going to town on the Watchers. They have this knockdown, drag out fight, but it's still not enough. And so the Eminence is like, enough. You mortals don't stand a chance. I am going to, like you said, erase you from existence in every variant, version, instance.
Now you got the power to do all that, and you just watch. That's kind of so. Like you could have saved so many universes. You selfish son of a. Because you could have saved so many universes.
But here's the thing, because like, so just say for example, in 100 universes,
I didn't even know he could do that.
Probably not. But so say you have 100 universes, and in 99 of them, Thanos gets the Infinity Stones and snaps away half of all life in the universe. But in that one universe, T'Challa gets picked up by the Ravagers, and Thanos becomes a good guy. So if you erase all the Thanoses out of existence, you're erasing that good Thanos too. That Thanos didn't do anything wrong. So does he get erased?
Listen, I'm just saying.
I'm just playing.
They don't care, regardless.
They don't.
Okay, I liked it though. But before they even started fighting, when they was accusing Uatu of interfering, it was like when you helped Riri Williams. That was just that one time,
right?
It was so funny because that's exactly what you were trying to say. Hey, man. Oh, just that one time. No, it wasn't, dude. Like you were countlessly involving yourself in these people's stuff.
Right.
It's like, and you gave the knowledge of the multiverse. They're not just humans, they're heroes. Like, You don't care about your heroics. And they're like, look at her heroics. Now she know us. It's like, I gotta kill her. That's not our way. You broke the rules. We gotta break the rules to reestablish the balance. I'm like, that's some bullshit.
Just all kind of oxymorons and what's it called?
Paradoxes.
Yeah, all these paradoxes. I gotta break the rules to reestablish the rules. But you don't want me to break the rules, but I gotta break the rules because you broke the rules.
Right. You're supposed to watch me break the rules. You ain't supposed to. You're a hypocrite right now. All this is you interfering. You ain't supposed to do none of that. You broke your. It was more like a suggestion.
It was like a, I'll think about it.
Guidelines.
Right. Just guidelines. But so they all fight. And so the Eminence says, well, I'm going to erase all of you from existence. All versions of you all throughout history.
Enough.
And so we did get the pretty cool image of him blasting his, ray or beam or whatever it was at them. And then every different version of them getting wiped out of existence. But
yeah,
I feel like they should have, they really should have just called this What If Deus Ex Machina, because again, we just talked about they couldn't let Riri believe in herself enough to beat Mysterio, but they can let Captain Carter believe in herself enough to beat a Watcher.
I'm not losing any friends today. Yeah.
And that's all it took. She was able to, for a mere 10 minutes after having the power of a Watcher, was able to overcome everything that he was trying to do, regain her past selves, or not her past selves, but her multiverse of selves, and then jump into him to transport him.
Not just jump, float, and then supersonic midair and go further and faster and higher, baby. Higher, further, faster, baby.
And so she transported not just the Eminence, but all of them, all the Watchers, and her entire team, together, and transported them all into Doctor Strange's universe. And she just was able to.
Well, when you get cosmic abilities, you get cosmic knowledge too. So I'm gonna give you that. I'm gonna let them have that.
Okay.
But I mean, how else can Ultron see like everything else? So he has to have that awareness that everything else exists to know it's there. But I will say this: clearly, Captain Carter's not dead.
Clearly,
and even though the shield isn't, what's the word I'm looking for? Sentient. It's clearly going back to wherever the hell she is.
Yeah.
Whatever universe it is. They mended at the end because it was broken. And now it's going to back to where she is, which I'm pretty sure it's going to be in live version. Live. Next time we see her.
How do you translate that? So for people who don't watch the Disney, the general audience that don't watch the Disney Plus shows, how do you bring back Cosmic Captain Carter into a live action adaptation of whatever she would show up in again?
You drop it right in Secret Wars, which is going to be one of the biggest casts ever put on screen.
That makes sense.
You've already explained what the multiverse is. Here's the thing: Marvel's as crazy as the concept of the multiverse is. I commend Marvel for taking it on, because after they established their universe, I wouldn't they would swing for the multiverse, because it's a concept. The concept of multiverse is very complicated to explain. They did the best what they could, but it is different universes, different iterations of yourself. And it will always be, because it's based on a real theory. For every decision you make, you made the opposite decision.
Right.
And for that opposite decision that was made, a version of you exists in that world where you made that opposite decision. You
Right, in
don't
that
see that
timeline.
version, but that doesn't mean that version doesn't exist.
Right.
Right. So everybody keeps saying the Wizard of Oz did it best, but it's not the Wizard of Oz that did it best. It's A Wonderful Life that did it first. They did it first. The Wonderful Life is the first multiverse. The Christmas story when they saying, "This is
Yeah.
your life if you did this. This is your life if you did this."
I don't see
So
how
it's
the
there
Wizard of
wasn't dimension
Oz
hopping, but it
did
showed
that.
you well because it's a dream state, and I don't know. That's what they heard. That's what I heard. That's what
Mm,
somebody said.
yeah, I would
The Wizard
disagree with
of
that
Oz
one.
did it. Yeah, I think this A Wonderful Life is the one that did it. And then he wakes up and is like, "This is my reality.
Right.
So let me try to make this the best that I can." But they did the heavy lifting. General audiences now understand that there's a multiverse, and whatever part they accept and agree with or are able to say, I believe that they understand that you can have a multiverse where you have a version that looks just like you.
Mm-hmm.
You can have a multiverse where they look nothing like you.
Right.
You can have a multiverse where you're actually an alligator or a frog
Or a rock,
the, or a rock.
apparently.
Yeah, everything always all at once. You're a rock, and or you can have uh, hot dog
Hot
fingers.
dogs with fingers.
So
I still hate that so much.
it's so creepy, but it's creepy to us because it's foreign to us. But for
Right.
them,
For
it's
them, that's their
regular.
universe. That's their life.
That's how do you yeah these regular fingers are creepy. Why aren't your fingers hot dogs?
Right.
Hot dog long fingers. And please don't put that in my face. 'Cause I was like, that was weird, really weird. But the multiverse is weird because again, it's really anything. Now the heavy lifting is done, and I think Marvel had to do this for the exact reasons that we talked about earlier. When you get somebody that kills a role like Tom Hiddleston, and you get somebody that kills a role like Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans, Chris Pratt. If your name is Chris, you're probably highly likely to be hired by Marvel. Um,
Has Chris
it's
Pine
hard
been in
to
the MCU yet?
not
I don't
yet
think so.
because he had to finish dealing with Wonder Woman, not 84.
So it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, since you're not doing Star Wars or Star Trek, he can probably slide over there.
Yeah.
Telling you, his name's Chris. He's sought after. So they did the heavy lifting. The general audience now
Oh no,
understands
that was
what
the
a
MCU.
multiverse is.
I was about to say
So
he voiced Spider-Man in Into the Spider-Verse, but that wasn't MCU.
not yet.
Not yet.
So it's only well, that's a large ask for Disney to buy Sony. That's a huge because we're thinking of these shitty movies that Sony doing, but you got to remember they got Sony PlayStation, Sony headphones, Sony
Mm-hmm.
electronics, Sony TVs.
Yeah. Sony speakers,
That's
Sony sound systems.
so uh so Marvel dropped this, and I think everybody is okay now understanding what the multiverse is,
Right.
which is why I think they're comfortable with resetting and telling regular ground base and the same universe stories. That's not to say that they won't do it again though, because audiences are going to get tired of the same stick. So you're going to have to shake it up and bring in new characters and have different situations going on.
Yeah, that's the only way you can
This
have these characters be everlasting is to have different actors portray them, and the only way you can maintain the continuity of why is this person different now, the explanation is this is a variant. This is, the same person but in a different universe.
right. And I think they had to do that because I think if they didn't do this, honestly, no matter who they cast in the Hugh Jackman Wolverine role would have failed.
Yeah.
They just would have failed. And no matter who you cast in the Iron Man role, Tony Stark would have failed. There's no way that they was going to be able to fill those shoes. Those guys are so iconic to those characters.
Mm-hmm.
So now you can have a variation of Loki, but you're going to compare him to the other Loki and be like, I like the old Loki better.
It's the reason they brought Patrick Stewart back for Professor Xavier, because it was just a role that he fit into so well.
Yeah, but you're gonna have to get James McAvoy in there. And if he's not the new Professor X moving forward, that's crazy because again, he's working. He just put out 2 movies. So it's not like he wouldn't do it. I think,
that's if
they're
he
just
wants to.
biding their time. That well, Yeah, it's nothing that'll bring them back than a good old big old bag of Marvel cash. It is what it is. I
Yeah.
mean, I think you're going to see. I don't know if you're going to see Birdie. I think you're going to definitely see Captain Carter in that live action version.
In
You're
Secret
definitely going to
Wars,
see Komori.
Cohorty,
Komori? Is it Komori?
Cohorty.
Cohorty?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think I heard they confirmed her to be there. Are they? So it's a multiversal thing,
Well, we
and
already seen her
Doctor
die.
Doom's going to have to get
She got sliced in half.
who?
Captain Carter.
Who? Oh yeah, well she's in the MCU. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
That's what I'm
it's
saying.
not
We
as
already saw her
it
die
may not
once.
it may not be a bigger leap as you think because she's already introduced.
Yeah.
The cosmic version, that might be a stretch.
I just feel like it'll, for those who don't watch the Disney Plus shows, they'll see that and just be like, the last time we saw her, she got
She
sliced in
was
half.
she was two
So
people.
two halves of a
You had
person.
a yeah, you was a had an upper and a lower.
Yeah.
So
So how are you now this supreme cosmic being?
strong. Well, again, multiverse, right? That's
Yeah.
the throwaway line, the multiverse, because you're gonna have a. I would be surprised if they don't do the cameo of all cameos and have Tom Cruise be a Tony Stark, because that's what Marvel originally wanted before
Right.
they went with Robert Downey Jr. So
And
if it's a
everybody thought that was
cameo,
going to happen in Multiverse of Madness.
so if we do it, nice throwaway. We can get all of them on there. We already had the John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic
Mm-hmm.
fan casted. They're trying to tap back into the fans.
I mean, they've already
So
done it because, I mean, canonically, Deadpool and Wolverine is a part of the MCU now. And
yes,
we had Chris Evans as Johnny Storm. So I think he's the first. Well, not the first. Well, I'm about to say this is the first actor who's canonically played two characters as a part of the MCU, two separate characters. But there was a cop in Avengers who also played a detective that was Peggy's partner in Captain Carter. And Agent Carter, I'm sorry. In Agent Carter, the Agent Carter TV show.
Okay. Um, the girl that was in the Eternals, the lead, she was in uh
Oh,
Captain Marvel.
Cersei. Yeah, Cersei was
Yes,
in Captain Marvel. Yeah.
she was a Kree.
Yeah. And also there was somebody else. Diamond Hansu. No, he played the same character in both. Because that was just him at a later point in time.
What character was this?
Korath. Because he was in Captain Carter. Captain Carter. I keep saying Captain Carter. He was in Captain Marvel, with the rest of the Kree, and then he was also in Guardians of the Galaxy. But he was playing the same character.
Oh, okay. I thought we were talking about playing different characters.
No, I thought I was thinking about it, but then I realized, yeah, he just played the same character. I think there's somebody else that has played multiple characters in the MCU.
There's a small list.
Yeah.
There's a small little list. I mean, it's easier to do when the actor has the makeup on, so it doesn't, you know.
Yeah,
I
because
don't.
they can claim
I
it
don't know
wasn't the
how.
same person.
I don't know how they're gonna. This is really ballsy to bring Robert Downey Jr. back as Doctor Doom,
Yeah.
because you're asking the audience to
suspend disbelief and say this is not Tony Stark. This is Victor Von Doom, and that's if he's playing Victor Von Doom, because we're talking about alternate realities and different timelines. This could be another Tony Stark that just happens to be Doctor Doom.
They claim that it is Victor Von Doom.
Oh, then I don't know.
I understand that he was open to come back and not to come back in a different way, and it's more of a challenge for him to play as an actor. You get to explore a darker side and have more fun in the role, but it's a large ask that Marvel's asking for you to suspend disbelief and saying, hey, the guy that you were rooting for the first 6, 7 movies,
That broke your heart when he
you're
died in
now
the
rooting
Endgame.
against. You're now rooting against him.
Right.
And everybody wants to see the reaction. What does Peter Parker do when your mentor is back and he has the face of your mentor, but now he's trying to kill you? How do you emotionally swing from that?
Right. And
Which is interesting.
What will the audience think? Because I feel like you have to have the characters acknowledge it, right? They have to acknowledge it in some way, because if you just gloss past it and say, oh, this is Victor Von Doom, this is a completely different person, regardless that they're both being played by Robert Downey Jr., that because he's a different character, we don't recognize him. I feel like if they do that, I think people are going to pitch a fit.
I think they attack it head on. There should be a Doctor Doom saying, I am not Tony Stark. I don't care what my face looks like. But at the same time, use his face to manipulate people that
think
the guy's a super genius. He's right there under Reed Richards by catalog of intelligence. He's really smart. So I can't see him not utilizing. Let's get it twisted. Robert Downey Jr. is not going to put this mask on to like late into the because Marvel was smart about one thing.
Is Doomsday then Secret Wars, right?
Yes.
So yeah, I feel like the final scene of Doomsday is him putting the mask on.
Right. Robert Downey Jr. is not. You don't pay that type of money
to not see his face.
That'll be that might be a post-credit scene. If at all. You might get it at the beginning of Doomsday.
Right. But so we kind of went off a little bit, just kind of getting into discussion
it's Marvel's fault.
It's always Marvel's fault. But so what do we think about episode 7 and episode 8? Super or no?
Yes, quite honestly. There's a lot of in that episode. But overall, I think they pulled it off to come together to have it as an entertaining episode. Yes, 7 and 8 both is super. The lead up and the conclusion, because you can't kill a cosmic entity at all. So I really was watching like, what are you going to do with this?
Mm-hmm.
And it's unclear if they left him in Doctor Strange's universe. And it's unclear why Doctor Strange would hinder anybody's powers there, and how are they getting out? Like, none of that's addressed. So it is wonky. It's wonky.
Yeah.
And the fact that he became a universe in itself, how did in the world that happen? Because last time we saw him, we were trying to aid him for help. And now all of a sudden he's a whole universe by itself. So we just go accept that. Okay.
Yeah. And for that, I will say with these last 2 episodes, for me, 7 was super, 8 was not, because I left 8 with more questions than I went into with 8, and knowing that with this being the final season, we're not going to get any kind of clarification on any of these questions that we have. So it's like, if you know that you're going to wrap up this entire series, not just this season, yeah, you put a nice little bow on it because we don't really have a need. Not that, because we have the 3 head watchers and we have Uatu. There's still a whole universe, multiverse of other watchers out there.
Watchers, right?
Yeah. So
we said when Stan was talking.
He was talking to 3 different ones. It could have been these 3. I don't know. But that's what I'm saying. That right there lets you know there's more than 3. Because if he was talking to 3, I thought he was talking to more than 3. But if he was talking to 3, and the Uatu wasn't there. Yeah, and it wasn't. Well, we don't think it was a Uatu. None of them were named, I don't believe.
Yeah, well, Uatu look a little more dark-skinned than the other ones. I will say that. I don't know. He might have been watching the sunset and the sunrise in some places.
He did think that the sunrise was beautiful. Where the Eminence was like, it's a sunrise. What are you talking about? The sun goes up, the sun goes down.
You watching wrong, dude.
I mean, essentially
that's what he's telling them.
That was the whole crux of it. It was like, yeah, you're watching, but are you're seeing, but you're not really watching. Like you're observing, but you're not understanding exactly what's going on. Mm-hmm. And if you allow yourself to be able
you didn't like that part?
I didn't like like you said, we don't know what happens with Captain Carter. We don't know where exactly she went. We don't know how Doctor Strange
She's very much alive.
No, absolutely. She's very much alive. Yes, I 100% agree with you on that. But why not have her just come back then? If she's outside of, if she was able to transport them to Doctor Strange's universe, why did she utilize all her power to do that? So is she somewhere without the power anymore? Or is she just now in the fifth dimension and she's the head watcher? Like, we don't know what happened to her, but we know that she's out there somewhere. And then we get this montage of all of these different variations of different characters.
Who's that for?
It's
Who's
like
the 8-armed Spider-Man for?
Yeah. Because it was like the 8-armed Spider-Man. It was like a Wolverine Hulk or no, it was a Wolverine somebody.
They got a Silver Surfer Jubilee. They got
the Samurai Ghost Rider. I'm looking at some of the images. Yeah, the Samurai Ghost Rider. Yeah, you had the Silver Surfer Jubilee. You have a Blade Moon Knight. You had Sorcerer Supreme Hulk.
Blade?
Yeah, that was Blade as Moon Knight.
I thought that was T'Challa.
But you have a Sorcerer Supreme Hulk. You have a Riri Williams Punisher. So, like, we see all of these, possibilities. But like you said, who is that for? We are not going to see any of those come to fruition.
Yeah, especially if y'all canceling the show. Who is that for?
We don't know.
You want me to get excited about something and now go see? But I don't think it was them. I think that was an executive decision.
I'm pretty sure it was, because why go through the time and energy of not animating, but illustrating those characters as those different variations when you're not going to do anything with them? Because I heard if you want to just talk about
to get really, really wacky, wild out with some ideas and concepts, and
I feel like they absolutely did that this season. They got real wacky with some stuff. If this was only a fraction of what they wanted to do, I don't know if I want to watch if they will get really wacky and outlandish in whatever the ideas they have.
We said we were talking about What If season 3. And what was your response that you said?
What if they didn't do this season? What if we didn't have a season 3?
Wow. So that lets me know that it was on par of we might have been all right without this. So it brings me to ask you the question, overall, what if season 3 was it super? I mean, we went through the episodes.
Yeah, and for me,
was taking count.
2 out of 8 was super. I mean, that's a failing grade. That's a failing grade for me. But no, it's like, because at the end of the day, what did we resolve? Right? We had this long ongoing storyline spanning across seasons. At the end of the day, what did we do? We kept Uatu from being killed, I guess. But he taught.
We got Birdie.
We got
Kohori.
We got Kohori out of season 2, the best part of season 2, in our opinion, But what did we do with this season? The first half of the season, outside of Birdie coming into existence, really, again, had no bearing on anything. And the only bearing that 1872 had on anything was Uatu fucking up one too many times and getting the principal called on him. Had we not had that episode, they would have still just watched him, wait for his next fuck up. So I feel like I didn't get anything out of this season. So it's not super for me.
We doubled down on the multiverse to get everyone with a clear understanding what the multiverse was. We established that the Watchers exist and they watch over the multiverse.
Right.
We also established if there's a threat that comes across the multiverse, we may have to pull heroes from inside of the universes to take on that threat because threats do happen.
Right. And I mean,
On
we
the
established
inside
that
of
in
the,
season
the
one.
cinematic universe, yeah, but we don't know how deep the rabbit hole goes to season three and the consequences of the actions by interfering. You can get you from all existence if you don't have a team that can get to the fifth dimension and save your
But
butt.
then at the end of the day, none of that happened. There was a threat of it happening, but it didn't come to fruition.
Yeah.
And so we know that
we're better off now
the Eminence and the three head watchers don't have the powers. But what about the rest of them? They had the powers of a watcher. Do they still have the powers of a watcher? Are they just going to leave those three head watchers there in Doctor Strange's universe? Because if they don't and they take them back to wherever they're supposed to go.
No, they're supposed to just watch.
So they're going to stay there and watch.
If you don't kill them, which Uatu said that's not our way. Mm-hmm. We don't kill.
Right.
Which, again, I don't see how that's possible. You killed Ultron. But if you don't kill them,
true,
there is no telling, kind of like the Cassandra Nova thing. As soon as you take this helmet off, I'm going to turn your brain into jelly. You're like, don't do that. please don't do that. I'm going to take this helmet off so you can heal yourself because I know your brother. And if he knew you was alive and out here, he wouldn't do this to you.
Exactly.
But didn't she say she killed a Charles or two in the void? I got to go back and watch that.
Maybe.
So that kind of defeated what Wolverine said. The Charles that he know probably would, but that's not across the multiverse. If the Charles knew she was alive, because if she kills some Charles, then that takes away from that, in my opinion. Anyway, so the idea is that they can't die. So unless they're a prisoner on Doctor Strange's universe for all time, you're absolutely right. Because from what I'm talking to you is I'm telling you that there's more things to watch. And yes, we're not supposed to intervene, but we have to keep the balance of right and wrong. And sometimes good needs a little push, little motivation.
A helping hand.
You should be open to that as a watcher. And the watcher, the Emergence is like, no. Because even in defeat, he's like, no, no. No, and they're like, we need to go ahead and kill him. You lost, dude. Like, yeah, no, I'm not backing down. No, y'all gonna have to slay me because I'm true to what I believe. But stop. Look, dude, you're gonna have to watch a little differently. I'm not gonna kill you. You're not gonna kill me? No, because that's not our way. You taught me so much. Like this heart to heart. This is the T'Challa technique. But that's to say that the Eminence is not in his feelings. Like, soon as you get me out of here,
right?
Hand power issue. Like, so for you not to say, because y'all came out, they was in the middle of the thing, putting the shield back together and watching it fly off.
Right.
It didn't say whether they let them out or can you watch from here. You don't have no power, so you got to watch from here. Or Doctor Strange go talk to y'all. We don't know.
Yeah,
we have no clue. So,
but Mr. VIP Frankie Washington, like you said,
I know you were about to.
We went through all the episodes. We got your take on them. But what if season 3, as a whole, is it super?
I appreciate it, but it's not super. It is not super. It is not super at all. It's season 2 was super. Season 1 was super. Season 3, you didn't stick the landing. And I don't know if it was behind the scenes issues or just creatively you kind of fell out of ideas, which I hear is not the case. I hear creatively you're trying to go even further, but in the what if, I think the way the first season worked because it wasn't that much deviation from the timeline that we're aware of.
Right.
And we understand that one choice or one change of a choice can spark a new timeline. And what does that look like? Season two, we got into more of the characters in different iterations. Excuse me, of what's going on in their storyline, the Killmongers and But season three, we got really, really wacky, and it's not to say that you can't go wacky, but it's so far removed from the source that we would deem the source material as the timeline. It was very off-putting in places, and the stuff needed explanation, you didn't get any,
Yeah.
and the stuff that you did explain, we probably didn't need it. So no, it was not. It was not super. It doesn't get the badge of super.
The ATS seal of approval.
It did not just get the seal of approval. They and the fact that they not doing another season. From what I understand, they're going to spin off and do a different version. But I don't know if it's strong enough to get that following to the new version.
I don't think so. Because just looking on IMDb, because of course they have the ratings for each season and they have a rating for each episode. And season 3 is the lowest rated.
Well, what did they give season one? What did they give season one?
Season 1, let me get back to the episode list.
You got to think about the seasons too. Like what stands. You can say what you want about Captain Marvel. That Captain Marvel Thor fight was really good.
Yeah.
That Hawkeye Black Widow episode, that was really good. The fact that Uatu brought Black Widow into another universe, they didn't check him for that. They didn't even mention that. They mentioned Madison with two N's and one Y.
I love the fact that that's like that whole thing is her entire name. It's like a tribe. You got to say the whole thing like a Tribe Called Quest. You cannot say Madison without saying Madison with two N's and a Y.
Right?
Some human named Madison with two N's and a Y. Oh,
okay. I want her to come back in Secret War.
Right. So, okay, so the seasons itself doesn't have ratings, but each episode has a rating. But you have consistent.
I know how to do simple math, so let me hear
it. I mean, it's in decimals. It's everything is a point something. So you got to do all of that, add it together, and then divide it by the number of episodes.
That doesn't sound simple at all.
It's not.
I'm out.
But I can tell you, season 1 was probably rated the highest, just looking at an overview of the ratings, because you had most of the episodes in season 1 rated high 7s. You had a couple that were rated high 8s. Season 2, mostly 7s. Mid 7s across, like, so I would say only one episode was rated in the 6s in season 2. All the other ones were between like 7 to 7.8. No episodes rated over 8 stars. And this is, of course, according to IMDb ratings. And then season 3, you have no episode is the highest rated episode is episode 7, What If the Watcher Disappeared, and it's rated at 6.8.
Ooh.
So even with the majority of viewers, at least the people who have bothered to rate the episodes on IMDb, there was a significant drop off for each season.
It's probably because that executive is leaving from Marvel. What's his name? The African American individual.
Oh, I don't know.
There's an executive that's been with Marvel for years that's leaving, and he's a part of this process of What If and I think he greenlit X-Men '97.
Oh, yeah, I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I don't remember his name though, but I didn't know he was leaving.
Yeah, he's walking like Black Panther 3 is the last thing I think he's going to be credited on. He did also Black Panther 2 and 1. He's a EP, executive producer.
Okay.
Um, I think he's going to do his own thing though, and it'll be interesting to see
Yeah.
what he comes up with. Nobody want to
Highest.
talk about Ryan Coogler's vampire movie, but him and Michael B. Jordan got together and dropped a vampire
Yeah. What is it
movie.
called? It's like
I
Sinners or something like that.
I think he has something to do with as well. I could be wrong. I could be 1,000% wrong, but I think
Okay.
he had something to do with that. I could be wrong though.
Yeah. So highest rated episode of What If was season 1, episode 8, What If Ultron won, rated at an 8.9. Lowest rated episode is season, well, it might be a tie. Yeah, tie season 3, episode 1 and episode 2. So, what if the Hulk fought the Mech Avengers and what if Agatha went to Hollywood? Both of those episodes are rated at a 5.7.
Hmm, interesting. Because I I I think since Die Hard, everybody just tried to throw a Christmas spin on it to try to dominate a Christmas thing. I'm not a huge fan of holiday Christmas like that.
Yeah, because you had
I
a
think
Christmas
Die Hard
episode in
did
the
it
first 2
deliberately
seasons,
too.
right? No, there was no Christmas episode in season
Yeah, I
1, but
think
the Christmas episode was in season 2. And that was the lowest rated episode of that season.
yeah, it just
What if
wasn't.
Happy Hogan saved Christmas?
Just don't do it. I wasn't a huge fan of the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special.
Yeah, that was another thing.
This
Like, did we really
this
need
this
this?
this was the highlight
Oh,
right
dude
there.
on the
That was the
guitar.
highlight. That was the highlight. Other than that, where are we going?
You're chasing after Kevin Bacon.
I didn't need that.
Yeah.
The big reveal, but to what you say though, how does it move you forward? You found out that Star Lord and Mantis was
Brother
siblings,
and sister, right.
but if you watch Guardians of the Galaxy Part Two, you knew that was an issue anyway. Because when Ego was showing the people that he had uh, you know, relations with,
Right.
concubines,
There
to the
was.
people that he was there was a man looking entity.
Yeah.
It's right there in the background. So I knew automatically, like, oh well, that must be his daughter because he's getting it on with the mother,
And
and then you find out they're sisters.
here's the thing, because the Christmas special was in between 2 and 3, right?
Supposed to be.
Or yeah, supposed to take place between 2 and 3, because when we get into 3, they already have Nowhere all established and everything, and then in the Christmas special they were kind of setting it all up.
No, it doesn't move into 3.
Yeah, and so did we even get a payoff for learning that Star-Lord and Mantis were siblings? Like, did they even reference it in Guardians 3?
No.
That because I don't remember.
Presentation that it's a special presentation that if you don't see it, it doesn't make or break. But they're siblings.
Like, we still don't know how Nebula got Bucky's arm to give it to Rocket.
I don't think we're gonna get an answer to that.
And what did he do with it after that? And was this his old arm?
I don't think.
Well, no, because
Rocket collects crazy nonsense like that. He's a gadget maker, so he makes bombs and guns and stuff. He makes those things.
Yeah, so he probably dismantled it and turned it into something else.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Rocket again and he had armor from, like, body armor from the arm.
Yeah,
that would be cool. It'll be vibranium.
Because Bucky got his arm blown off in Civil War, and then they brought him to Wakanda, and then they cured him of his brainwashing, and then they gave him a new one for Infinity War.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
which again, I'm surprised the arm that they gave him don't have like weaponry inside of it.
Well, because he was trying to get away from that life. So I think they just wanted to give him a prosthetic arm.
When they came and brought that case, Bucky says, "Where's the fight?"
Because he knew that that's what they were bringing it for. He's like, "You're gonna need you're gonna need 2 arms."
Yeah, you could throw that hay all you want to, but guess what? I'm about to say these words again.
Oh man! Oh, if T'Challa would have pulled the book out.
I knew what we did. Oh man! But see, that's character growth right there. That's the reason why we care about Bucky. Because again, you see in that trend, like when he got released from his mind control,
oh, those tears
in his eyes, like dude, like you don't understand, like to be able to not control your own body and doing stuff and having the knowledge that you're doing it. Remember they asked him, "Do you even remember their names?"
I remember all of them.
And to see him try to atone for that in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Oh man, come on, dude. Marvel has the ability of giving you phenomenal stories.
Oh yeah.
It may not be able to be told all in one story. Like we're invested in the Thunderbolts Crowley because Bucky is in there. He's a political figure now.
And
we want to see how does somebody that has murdered so many people now can never mind, it makes sense, it's for politics. So yeah, Yelena's in there too.
Not just politics, it's American politics.
It's American politics. That's on your resume. How many? Oh my God, that was a country. Yeah, can you start today?
Exactly.
So she's in there, and the Red Guardian is in there. So those 3 right there is strong enough to carry the trio. Because David Harbour is incredible as a Red Guardian.
Yeah.
But now we got the return of Ghost, and we have
Taskmaster.
The other one, Taskmaster. Now that's the task to see if we can get some personality out of the Taskmaster, since she's no longer under mind control.
Right.
And we haven't seen Ghost since Ant-Man got stuck in the quantum realm. Probably over a decade now in the MCU's history.
Oh, well, because
5 years have passed.
Well, because the thing about it is that we ended Ant-Man and the Wasp with them getting pulled into, with all of them getting stuck. Well, them getting dusted while he was in the quantum realm. And so that was in 2019, because it was 5 years later when everybody got back. But we don't know how much. Well, I guess it was around the same time, because I don't know how much time had passed when they let Ghost go until that happened.
Would you have pivoted away from Kang
as a studio?
Yes. Would you have, if you were running MCU, would you have continued to run the Kang storyline?
It depends on how much, because you had to think that they already had because they already had the slate, the Avengers, the Kang Dynasty, before Avengers Secret War, before they changed it to Doomsday. So
wait, let me ask you this question before you answer.
Okay.
Let's what if?
Oh God.
Take out Kang getting beat with ants,
right?
And actually have the original ending with Ant-Man and the Wasp getting stuck in the quantum realm
with Kang.
Both of them are stuck there. Kang's out. We don't know where he's going, which makes it so much more menacing,
right?
Because we know there's a council of Kangs, and this Kang is gone, and we want to believe that Kang is the good Kang, because we know there is a version of the good Kang that exists at the end of time. Though he is a horrible Kang, he's telling you, I'm doing this because there's no other way. I've tried other ways. This is the best way. You're gonna have to trust me. And Loki's like, nah, I don't really trust you, dude. Right. But to see that, I want to give you that. That's the preference now. The question is, would you pivot away from Kang? With the allegations and the whole thing with Jonathan Majors happening?
Me personally, I would not have pivoted away from it, because the thing about it is that, especially as early as it was in the investigation, because you can put a project on hold when it's, because as far as I know, they haven't started filming Doomsday, have they?
Right. No.
So
no. they still got so much other stuff before they get to Doomsday.
And so
they still got to shoot Spider-Man 4.
And so my whole thing is they were so quick to dump him and dump Kang before anything really came to any type of finalization. And so what happened to the whole innocent till proven guilty type thing? You know, if it came to
but they held on until the verdict was read.
Did they?
Even though everybody else jumped ship, they held on.
They did. No, they let him go.
They didn't make an announcement.
They let him go well before the verdict was read.
They said they were pivoting before the verdict. Before the arrest, they were pivoting, supposedly.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying.
They were pivoting because of the Quantumania numbers. But the Quantumania numbers, they should have, if you wasn't going to kill Ant-Man, you should have left him trapped in the quantum realm, him and Hope. So they said they didn't want to do that because it was too familiar from the same movie that they just did.
Right, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
He was trapped.
Yeah.
But trap his ass there. He's not alone there. The last time he was alone. This time he has the Wasp, and they clearly have.
Well, I mean, because technically at the end of Ant-Man, he got trapped, but he found his way out. At the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp, he got trapped, and he wasn't able to get out until a rat let him out.
Again, that's the thing. Double down, because the quantum realm is not somewhere. The quantum realm is not somewhere that you want to go. Like every time you go there, you get trapped. Guess what? People are going to be tempted not to go there. So let's not go there. So we'll trap him in there again. But he's not alone. He would have the Wasp and all of those entities that's in the quantum realm. So when the portal opens up, because the portal's going to open up in Secret Wars, then Ant-Man could come out to face Kang, which is now going to be Dr. Doom.
And then he also has himself an army because he can pull the people out of the quantum realm with him.
Thank you. And that will be bringing new characters into the MCU, because the young lady that played the Rebel, she was in Star Wars too.
She was in God, what was that? Was that The Mandalorian? Yeah, she was in The Mandalorian.
Right. She clearly can come over there and just start doing things in the MCU. So what are we doing, MCU? What are we doing, Marvel?
If to pivot away from, because see, the thing about it is, even without, if the whole, Jonathan Majors legal stuff didn't happen and they were pivoting away, they were thinking about pivoting away from Kang because of the Quantumania numbers, I feel like that was a bad reason to pivot away from a character, because that's like saying because Avengers Age of Ultron didn't do well
in our character.
Right. That's saying if because Age of Ultron didn't do well, we're going to pivot away from Thanos. Right? Or because basically I'm saying because because one film in a saga doesn't do well, we're going to pivot away from the whole big bad of that entire saga. If one movie if Guardians 1 didn't do well, where we introduced the Power Stone, we saw the interaction between Ronan and Thanos. If Guardians 1 didn't do well, we're just going to pivot away from the entire Infinity Saga and try to find another villain to replace Thanos. Yeah, that's basically what they were saying with Quantumania. Because this didn't do well, we're going to pivot away. It wasn't Kang. It wasn't Kang that was the downfall of the movie. It was what happened with Kang. It was It was a way that they want to talk about how he's the big bad, how he's so dangerous, but then you don't make him appear to be dangerous. You use MODOK as comic relief for a throwaway character like Darren Cross, when Darren Cross never had any correlation to MODOK. MODOK was supposed to be a murder bot. He's supposed to be.
That's what he's designed for.
The K in MODOK stands for killing, and he's comic relief. He's a lackey for Kang, and horrible CGI at that. And it's just.
I think that was done deliberately. Quite honestly.
You think so?
Well, I won't say yes and yes, but at the same time,
it's hard to say otherwise.
The MCU has characters that defy stuff, because again, it's the imagination of the creators, and they're going to create the most obscure stuff to stand out from other character creations. You see it all the time on Nickelodeon, like what's it, The World of Gumball or Adventure Time. You have these characters. Okay, well, it still stands for a reason. In
Yeah,
what
no,
I'm
I got
saying,
you.
you have different styles of animations that steps outside of the normal stick figure or humazoid or understanding of characters and how they exist.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about bringing these things to life, us as an audience or a fan, we want to see how you do it. And I think that's what defined the MCU. You had a guy in a metal suit banging away, and it was all tech like. This is clearly coming off of Christopher Nolan's Batman. When they reimagined Batman in a real world scenario, give
Mm-hmm.
him military grade armor,
Right. Spelunking
military
equipment.
vehicle. So it's all practical stuff that you can put together. Even tested it with the helmet or the cowl, and we hit it, and it's like you can't land on your head. You got to
Right.
figure something else out. It brought validity of real world
Realism.
stakes. Right. And then you're dealing with what's the realest thing that's going to happen if a man creates an Iron Man suit? The government's going to want it, especially
Right.
if they don't have it, because they're trying to protect their soldiers. So them even coming in Iron Man 2 and be like, dude, you find around with this weapon. It's not a weapon, it's just prosthetics, it's prosthesis. I'm like, nah, dude, this is a weapon. And
Prosthetics don't have missiles in them.
right, and you over here, and it's that again, real situations, real consequences. So you're basing your cinematic universe and establishing a tone of this is a real thing. And I like how they took that real thing and branched it out. They even went back and said, well, we have super soldiers from the government trying to create super soldiers.
Right.
We have Captain America, who was the first super soldier. What he wasn't. There's controversy in the lie. We learned Nigel Bradley was a super soldier who preceded Captain America. You also knew Red Skull was a super soldier that exceeded Captain America. But for the propaganda, we made propaganda. Captain America was a propaganda piece. He wasn't a real soldier. He was just going tour and sell these bonds so we could get money for the war.
Right.
And it wasn't until he's like, I want to do my part as a soldier. I want to do my part for the war. But in this whole thing is what I'm trying to share, Strider, is they're establishing their universe and the tone of their universe. And the part where it came in when Thor says to Jane, where your ancestors believe it was magic and mine, and you believe it's science, I'm from a place where they're the same thing. That brought the fantasy world into it.
Right.
When you brought Doctor Strange in it, and the ancient one explains that we pull energy from other dimensions. Again, sciency, making sense. We create magic, so that now gives you a understanding of magic and other dimensions. You also got mutants in here. Even though you want to make Kamala Khan the first mutant, okay, fine, whatever. We have mutates and mutants. Bottom line of what I'm saying is Marvel doesn't care about how you feel about the episodes. Even they said that in She-Hulk, Kevin the Machine said it, some will do better than others. I think Marvel does deal with two objectives in everything. We're asking a question about what is what if for. I think it was to double down what the multiverse is so you can understand that a multiverse exists and we can change our characters to whoever we want to
Yeah.
because these contracts going to run out, actors are
Actors
going
are
to
gonna
age
age
out,
out. Right.
and the fan base won't accept new people in those roles without a clear defined explanation. I think that was the biggest mission that Marvel was trying to establish with the multiverse. And inside of the multiverse, if we could just lay these little seeds, Kevin Feige will come on later on, and the Russos will come on later on, and tie the strings together. Well, you and I talked about this before.
Yeah.
They don't care about how we feel about it. They'll just come in, clean up, take these storylines where they can, and plots where they can, and make $1 billion because now, as you and I and the rest of the fandom are seeing, now it's starting to make sense.
Right.
Now they can go back and say, "Oh, we had a plan the whole time. Loki was going to be the hero, and yeah, in hindsight, after the championship, everybody always had a plan, right? Mike Tyson said everybody got a plan to fight until they get punched in the face.
Exactly.
So
And
Marvel got punched in the face a lot the last couple of years. Secret
yeah.
Invasions, Eternals was not a win.
No.
Love and Thunder was a loss. Multiverse of Madness down. They only had really 2 movie wins and a TV show.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, Agatha, the Lokis.
Yeah. In the past 2 years, I mean, that's about it.
Love and Thunder did not do well.
No, Love and Thunder didn't do well.
Echo did not do well.
Echo did not do well. I enjoyed the Marvels. We reviewed the Marvels. We thought the Marvels was super, but commercially, the Marvels didn't do well.
Did not do well. It was cut to ribbons. It was just cut up. It was. Monica had drinks in her hand. You never seen her reach for the glass or nothing. You just saw this. Like, where'd she get these 2 champagne glasses? I know what happened. I'm pretty sure Kamala tried the drink and she took it saying you're too young. But that's not in the movie.
Right.
I just put that together myself because it makes sense. But why wouldn't it be in a movie?
And here's my thing.
Why wouldn't she's away from home. Her mom's not there. Right. Yeah, we'll try this.
You're on a different planet. You don't know what the legal age to drink is on that planet.
This is so true. They just sing it anyway.
Exactly.
So clearly, it's in a drink.
But my thing is to go back to your question on if I would have stepped away from Kang. No, because even if, and just to go back on what you were saying, you know, we get an explanation of the multiverse because the inevitability of actors aging out, contracts expiring, and stuff like that. That's all the more reason if you are centering this portion of your saga around Kang. If there was all this legal trouble.
Jonathan Majors for a 9-picture deal.
Right. But even still, if they wanted to step away from Jonathan Majors as the actor because of legal troubles, of uncertainty around his legal fate, recast Kang, call him a variant. You can still have the character, go along with your current storyline, do what it is that you planned on doing this entire time. You already established in Loki that we saw alligator Loki, we saw kid Loki, you know, we saw all of these different versions,
original Loki.
Exactly. So the person who is this character does not have to look the same way that we're used to seeing them look. So you can have a Kang who is a completely different actor. They can still be Kang. All of the Kangs don't have to look the same. Exactly.
Unless it's in Jonathan Majors' contract that he's the only one that plays the version of Kang.
We'll never know that.
Even if that's in the contract, I think when you get arrested for the stuff he got arrested for,
that should make it all null and void.
I feel like that's a morality clause.
Yeah, I feel like there would be something. If that's a Disney contract, there's something in there that would release them from that legal agreement.
I can't see how it's not. But even if that's the case, here's the thing. I don't think they're done with Kang. And the way the way Quantumania ended says that they're not done.
Yeah, because it wasn't that Kang died. Kang was transported into a lower level of the quantum realm?
A lower version of the quantum realm.
Yeah.
Which, again, if he was able to set things up on that plane of existence, what's stopping him from setting things up on that new existence? Plus, if I remember correctly, he lost his sleeve, but no, his suit was malfunctioning.
Yeah,
so he may not have the ability.
That was really the reason that Scott was able to hold his own in a fight with him. Well, I won't even say hold his own because he had to get Hope to help him.
He got his ass kicked. There's no goddamn way in the world he should have won the fight at all. There's just none.
I mean, that's why Hope had to come and help him.
And again, that's fine, but let them stay in the quantum realm. And I think that was the moment that
again,
what if that is the moment that changed.
Right. I mean, like we was talking about this entire episode, the whole Deus Ex Machina of the thing. Just all of a sudden, your daughter is able to put together a portal to open it up and get the both of you out of there. Like at the same instance that you got stuck in there. They just
like that,
were able to. They were able to.
I don't
figure
like
it out. You don't like that, Cassie?
I don't like that, Cassie. I'd rather you bring back the original Cassie. And I know she has to be aged up. That's fine.
I think the original actor was still
now she's aged up. So let's just go ahead and retcon that. I'm just saying.
Dye her hair blonde, I guess.
I think that's what the situation was. The hair color kind of threw me off. Not to mention that she looks totally different because she is totally different, but not just totally different in the sense of the actress being different. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing in Cassie's profile that says she's now an environmental activist and she's it's
Yeah,
just
because
hard for us to accept it.
young Cassie didn't seem like. Well, I mean, I guess she kind of seemed like a little bit of a rebel, but I felt there was
How
like a big
she was more
jump.
at her mom's house, and last time we seen her, she was skating down a sled, and that's it. You really haven't seen her do much of anything else
Yeah,
except get an ugly bunny doll.
yeah, and feed their dog-sized ant.
Right. So you need to give me a little bit more of instead of her opening in jail, show us like Kate Bishop, show us doing stuff, and
Right.
then she's already with a crew and
But
she's
like you
leading the
said,
crew because she's
we
fighting environmentalists.
just like with the Marvels, we just a scene or two ends up getting cut out of the movie, and it just changes the whole background and the whole basis of a character's development.
Nothing to get me going like a oodle bag of Marvel cash.
But we've been going long enough. So what if season 3? It's not super, but leave it up to your own interpretation and your own opinions. Go
Hey,
check it
y'all can
out and watch
disagree.
it. Feel free to disagree and let us
Leave it in
know
the
if you do
comments.
disagree.
All right. Well, maybe there's a particular episode that you disagree with. Like, oh, I felt this episode,
Yeah,
Mr. VIP.
maybe you liked
You
1872 and you thought it
fellas,
was a
you
great
fellas think
title.
on the wrong one. I enjoy seeing Shang-Chi without 10 rings being called 10 rings that they shoot the bell tower and just appears out of nowhere.
But just remember, if you
Somebody
like
ring.
this video, go ahead, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell. You don't have to hit it 10 times, but just hit the bell so you can be notified when we have new episodes that come out. If you want the audio version of the podcast, just search for All Things Super on your favorite podcast streaming service. And if you want to reach out to us on social media, just click the link in the description below.
Yeah, we're not hard to find. We out there.
We
On
out
social
there.
media.
Just search for it.
Oh, hold on, Spider. You want people to do a lot of work.
Look, it's just a few
if,
things.
if they hit it, better click links. That's all you got to do is click the link.
They're all in the same general area, so you don't even have to go far.
You don't even need a dimension drive warping or infinity ultron.
No,
you don't have to go to the fifth dimension.
You
just
don't have to go to the fifth dimension to find us on social media.
And click it.
But we're back.
Spider, how you feel?
I'm glad to be back in it. I
want you to know
we went longer than we anticipated.
Behind you looks like I don't know. I was looking at this light behind you, and it's a perfect light that accentuate like it's in the background.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like clouds behind you from where I'm sitting.
Like clouds?
Yeah, well, not now that it's gotten so much darker, but earlier,
gotcha.
It looked like there was like a light, like a sunset cloud from the shadows and the pits of Mordor. Don't worry about it. It was
I
nice
thought you
image.
were going to say that it looks like something that you had been asking for a long time since we started the show.
For those who don't know, I've been requesting a Tesseract forever. Does look Tesseract-ish.
But I will say, because everybody that's watching now will have already seen it, we, in addition to the new theme song, we also do have a new intro clip. So prior to us making the changes in 2025, we had our clips going into the intro for the podcast for our video watchers. But we have new intro clips now, and in that new intro clip, there is a Tesseract. It's not blue like that, but we do have ATS cube Tesseract that's rotating in the intro.
So if you haven't watched the intro, if you just skipped over it,
go back and watch it. All you got to do is hit 0 on your keyboard. It's going to bring you back to the beginning of the video.
Look at that. Look how you educating our watchers. Look how you educating our listeners. Just what if you didn't? You would be another show.
But if you've stuck with us this long, this has been over 3.5 hours. So we greatly appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Long content. We got the longest content out here.
There is longer, but we we do appreciate all of you that have joined us. Thank you so much for watching this episode and listening to this episode. We love and appreciate you. We'll see you in the next one. But remember, until then, keep being super.
And brush your teeth.
Please do.
Halitosis is real.